Welcome back to another episode of the Red Wagon Inn. We've been talking about ghosts prior to the start of this, and Jakey is going to be one for the first 30 minutes while she does a work call, and then she will join us. The group is very split on whether ghosts are real or not. There's actually 50% of us believe that ghosts are real, and then there's 50% of us who, as Brie said, are right, so...
I was gonna say it'd be fun to see if chat could guess who the believers are
Ooh.
and who, but now you've just sold us both out as.
There's one other hidden
you
one.
can't tell by my background with the skeletons and all the spooky shit, and I don't know.
Listen,
Drew,
dude, I have a
look
whole
at
shelf
me.
of undead minis over here.
Oh, undead minis.
I mean, they're definitely
Look,
cool. A lot of
Undead
fantasy
and ghosts
stuff's
are two
cool.
different things, in all fairness.
A lot
Okay.
of fantasy stuff's cool. Right. Welcome back to another episode of the Red Wagon Inn. So glad to have you all here tonight. We're going to have a great show. We have a token giveaway tonight that is really going to swap some things up, but I can't tell you what it is. It's just going to be bananas for the next episode, let me tell you. We have a couple of things to talk about. We have some cool art because I am owed Alex to be able to show like the last 3 arts because I keep missing it. So very XC centric tonight. But before we get started and before we start a couple of other things, so for all the awesome people out here that were super helpful last time, the Rybo family has been going through a lot of crap the past few days as far as health stuff. Rybo Dad has really had a rough time of it, and some people have already messaged me asking and saying, you know, what they can do, and thank you. But just thoughts, prayers, and hearts in the chat for the Rybo fam, because I saw Rybo Dad's already in here. Love all the Rybo fam, dad, mom, and wife. They're all really great. And so, yeah, they like to be able to watch to do this while they're sitting there dealing with health stuff. So we have to put on a show or else they will be, you know, so mad at me later. So let's put on a show. No,
I was going to say, Ryan, that we need Rybonator to be around when we do season 16 for him to say, "Look, listen, son, 16 is enough."
he's gonna say, "All right, 3's enough. I came to the first 2."
Do Rybo fam believe in ghosts?
Do they?
Probably not. I'll answer for them. There may be a split between Rybo Dad and Rybo Mom, I will say on that one. But yes, y'all are all awesome in the chat. Rybo fam loves you all too. They all enjoy getting to come watch, and I like that they do come watch. So huge thanks to them. Do we have anything, speaking of family, do we have anything that we need to shill for monetary and corporate gains? Drew?
No, Drew.
No, Drew. Good.
Brie and I do, actually.
Good.
There is a super special, awesome secret announcement happening on Sunday, US time, Brie. That we're launching something amazing new and we believe revolutionary. So I know there's going to be a live hopefully on Facebook and Insta. So keep an eye out for that. You don't want to miss it.
Hey, we may be backing up these announcements, so just keep a real close eye on on Level Up, Instagram, Facebook, socials. We're not great at Twitter, but you can look there too.
Man, all the hype for my OnlyFans is wild right now. Holy.
Life changing. Right. Does anybody else have anything besides I get to shill all the art for Alex? Beautiful. Let's do that then. Alex, why don't you explain all these good arts that came last time? I think I've shown this sunset sniping one, which is really great before, but if we haven't shown that one, I know that we are missing Cowboy Bebop XC with the super detail of the gun hidden in the cloak. I really like this one. Actually, it's one of my faves. And then Spider XC, the best way to do it. I did not expect art to come out of that one, and so that one was really good. Who made all of those?
So just quickly to answer that. So I figured we'd do we have to do at least one image of every single mode that comes out of XC. So I'm sure I expect a turtle mode as well. But these are made by an amazing Australian artist known as Haunted Branch. They are working with me to do a full series across the whole season 2. So expect a lot more of their artwork, which I love coming out.
Awesome. Well, it looks really good, and apologize to them for me for always forgetting to throw it up. But this time, that's what I got. I got it for you, man. So I'll actually, just because we only have one giveaway tonight, and I normally get to explain it, and I've never explained a token before. Be excited for this one. Why don't we go ahead and explain it? Since this is going to only be a 1 token winner, whoever wins this giveaway, which Drew, if you want to start whenever, gets...
I already did.
Oh, you already did. Look at you, magnificent man. So make sure you do the giveaway stuff, exclamation point giveaway. Oh, I just see it on there, you liar. You get to pick any 2 players and make them swap characters for the next episode.
Yeah.
So
Man, that
I
sounds
knew
like
you
such
were
a
gonna do
cool
that.
token. What a cool and awesome
thanks, I made
original
it up.
idea.
I made it up myself, dude. Actually,
Yeah, I totally love this cool and original idea made by Rybonator TM.
Thank you. You didn't have to
Settle
say
down,
that.
Jakey.
You should. You should
All
say
right?
stuff like
We're
that
all
to
one
credit
big happy
ideas, but
family
you
here.
know, that was made by Jakey. Yeah. So make sure you enter that one. And since Jakey made it, might I suggest he receive it as a a suggestion. But so make sure you enter that one because you get to pick which of the players have to swap. And I would really like to see somebody else have to pull off XC in some way. I think that would be great.
That means I have to pull off someone else.
True. XC
I'm
We're
and
talking about
Winter.
pulling each other off way too much right now. I feel like this should be a full subject change.
I don't want to give Winter to anyone else and watch them do a way better job with her than I can. Please, no, don't school me on my character.
There's dead people.
Ooh. You're dead. I love you. That's everyone's Winter impression. Right.
It's like the cupcake thing. Hi, I like you. Have a cupcake. Hi, I like you. Have a cupcake.
Do they also have to do Winter's makeup? That's my question.
That's why I excluded myself and said players only. Because I already basically did Winter's makeup with Spade that one time, and I got no credit, even though everybody else had to wear ball caps. Right. With that, let's go ahead and do some roll-offs for recap. Jakey, I will roll for her for sake of fairness, and that way I
15.
can choose between the 2 rolls. Winter,
That
what'd you
seems
get?
completely
Also
reasonable.
15.
I got a 15.
Emma?
315.
I got an 11.
I got an 11.
Who's got the higher dex?
I am the DM. My dex is 2. No, let's do another roll-off.
Okay, hold on. We gotta make it spooky. We're gonna get spooky, okay?
I like that Popeye for half a second there. Gotta get spooky.
That, sir, is an 18 right there.
Well, I'll just go ahead and do the recap then, shall I? With my 4.
Rough.
Right. While I'm doing that, chat, do you believe in ghosts or do you not? Explain why you're right and others are wrong in the chat in a equally civil manner. So last week we headed off from the actual town of Carthage into the forest. But before we did that, Wardell had a nice little chat with a piece of coal that supposedly is the Lord of the Flames speaking to him very Prisoner of Azkaban style through the fire. Afterwards, the group got together. They found buddy systems to walk together, and Ordell paired himself with Sasha, who did not want to be there. Winter paired herself up with Elijah, the seaworthy fire paladin farmhand captain, who will lead everyone up to Carthage through the Black Forest. Ritter very much voiced his concerns, but everybody still went along with it. They traveled through the Black Forest for about a week now in time before they reached the final upper edge of the Black Forest. While they were doing so, they came across a little pupper named a moss hound, a creature from the Feywild who had been alone in the Black Forest for so long without anybody to converse with. So he asked them riddles 3 and answered several questions for them. And, well, riddles 2. I had 3 if you messed one up ready to go. But you only had to do 2, and so you didn't get hit by a comet. Instead, you got a comet necklace, which everybody was wondering what that was about. But the party rejoined with the paladins after no fight was had. The Mosshound purely gave them illusions to have to run and be scared from. Dad no, mom yes, for the Rybo fam on the ghosts. The rest of the party finally got their way to the end of the Black Forest. In doing so, they had Ordell try out the comet necklace, and he flew 1,000 feet up in some sort of spiritual manner while his body laid there for 1 minute, and he was able to survey the land before coming back down. There were many, many conversations between gods where Emma tried to talk to their god of death using a cricket that turned into a slug, as their god of death said, yes, you should totally boil the heck out of that cursed ring you've got, or so Emma and Ordell thought that they were saying. But wasn't that Ordell who? No, just Emma who thought.
No,
that.
Ordell suggested that the cricket should be boiled for another message.
Gotcha. I thought you found that.
That
and thought that
just
at the very
Jakey
end.
saying, Drew, you're an idiot, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Couldn't remember when it was said, but I knew it was said in there. But currently, the explanation was you all are very close to a nearby unwilling town. You could either go there and go north and try and maybe avoid being seen, because the only person who might be allowed in would be Emma or maybe Ordell, or the party could take the road south and skirt near the Bloodstocks, though they are quite dangerous. The party decided they're going to go south to try and avoid any sort of unwilling that would be unwilling to have the group come into their forest and their town. So off we are now trekking the southern way, trying to get up towards Cavity. XC is going to be trying to make that ring into a bullet of some sort. Ashrin was talking or flirting or doing some things with Ritter. Not entirely sure. Their dynamic's weird, but that's where we're at now.
I think you missed one important thing, that if you answer, we'll give you an inspiration.
Oh, good. What did I miss?
So, in Jakey's amazing recap, there's a section where XE deciphers something. What was he deciphering?
You asked that prior to the thing, saying you didn't know what it was and you wanted other people to know. Which, by the way, those notes and images are right here on your screen, where XE is deciphering K?
Yes, but you're doing the recap.
Queen.
Jakey, why don't you tell them what XE was deciphering? You drew the image.
It's the CAPTCHA code for Queen. He gave a little CAPTCHA thing.
That's totally
He asked
right.
Winter, "Are you a queen?" And then she said, "Not really." And then he was like, "Correct," but it seemed like XE would have taken any answer.
Gotcha. Okay, that's totally it. Well, then I did not remember the CAPTCHA contest that robots use to prevent real people.
I think that if I had said that I was a queen, you were going to kill me, right? Like, am I wrong in thinking you were going to
Maybe
assassinate
something
me?
along those lines.
Bit of this.
I
bit of that.
realized
Look,
that after I answered, by the way. I was like, wait, was Alex going to try and assassinate my character? Not XE, Alex.
I
Not
don't
X.
think you get it, Ryan. What's everyone else think?
Well, I will take the judgment of the chat, which, by the way, for chat to be reminded, there are things called GFYs and inspos. GFYs are the opposite of inspos. They stand for go F yourself. At 10 of either, if they aren't used, then something either amazingly good or amazingly bad will happen. Notice I haven't been using the players' GFYs on them. I don't know if that's been pointed out that much this season, but everybody waited until I got 10 last time, and so I thought it would be fun for me to wait for other people to get 10 GFYs soon. So keep that in the back of your minds, but I think with that, is everybody ready to go?
I have a
Can we
question, actually. Sorry, the Brie first.
Can we have a tally on GFYs? Like, where are we
Yes.
up to?
Ashrin is at 4 because she's playing somebody that's not a goody two-shoes cleric now, so she can be snarky. Ashrin is at 4. Winter is at 4. Emma, Exie, and Ordell are all at 2. I'm at 4, and I have 4 inspos. I don't know what everybody else's inspos are. That's honor system.
So that's what I was going to ask, because you said every time I've done a drawing, I get an inspo.
Yeah.
And I've been saving my inspos. I have 11 inspos. I didn't know we were going up to 10.
Yeah,
Just
then
make sure you don't get knocked out
Yeah.
when you use those 10 inspos.
So if I cash in my 10 inspos, like start a session, does that mean something cool is going to happen this time? Because I
Yep.
missed the last time someone got 10.
something amazingly cool happened. Tell them, Drew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you missed the item.
No, there was a chest in a wall that I couldn't see because I got knocked out before I could see it.
That
But Ordell
checks.
did see
They-
it, so that's a win.
Probably shouldn't have got knocked out. I don't know what to tell you.
Right?
I
Right there.
was
You don't stand underneath falling boulders, all right? Just don't do it.
risking my life for people.
I'm sorry. Could you
What
repeat
did
that?
you
Sorry,
learn?
I just went catatonic.
That's how
Yeah,
he speaks to
I'll use my
ghosts.
10.
You want to
I'll
use
reset
10?
myself to 1.
Jakey's
Yeah,
back
why
to 1.
not?
Cool.
I like things being spicy.
Alrighty.
9.
I have
Ordell's
none.
getting knocked out this episode.
XC, you're at
I have-
9.
You have none. You have a automatic baby inspo every session.
True.
Yeah, I also I have a ghost in my room that keeps trying to show you my Brie pillow.
You have
There we
what?
go. Never mind.
You have a nothing in your room, Brie.
True. It's a camera effect. Yes, but I also keep nearly dying, so I keep having to use my inspirations so that winter's still a thing.
True.
So I
mean,
have none.
You actually have straight
Is
zero?
winter still a thing? By
I
the way,
have
that
no
Dungeons and Dragons.
inspirations.
Dang, you use yours
It
a
is
lot.
in Australia at the
Drew,
moment.
there you go. You get 1.
Give me.
Yeah, see, Pico doesn't like to come on camera, so the drawing thing, me getting an inspo every time I do the drawing notes, I'm good with that because I don't get free inspo for pets because Pico hates.
What do
me.
I get for my inspo thing? I don't have a pet or a baby. All of you have something for it. I need something. I'm
Well,
I mean,
pet
get
or
a pet or a
get one of
baby.
them. Right.
Also,
with that.
Zoe's on a bottle now, so she's not coming in for feeds anymore. So
Oh, dang.
there goes my
I mean,
inspo farm.
winter's gonna die.
Let's see what happens this
Any
session.
inspo.
I mean, Jakey did get 10 inspos. Winter could die. Who knows what he likes or doesn't like?
What?
Jakey just wants the whole party to be, non-humanoid.
It's true. I want everyone to be my Tabaxi rogue Zonek the Hedgehog.
Oh,
No one
and
should be drinking or eating, that's for sure.
last thing before we start. If you missed the last episode, 1 is a good one, but 2, every single one of the smut book titles that were discussed
Really
in chat,
impressive.
which was like 100 of them, is in the Discord. Draco put them in there, so thank you, Draco, for
It is an
cataloging
impressive
our
list.
shame.
Can we confirm that
Indeed.
all those books exist in Emma's
Oh,
library?
100%.
That's,
All.
that's pretty much Emma's library.
That's Emma's library.
Don't
Yeah,
ever
man.
let winter into the ring.
Richard picked the one book that wasn't. Even the recipe books, kind of saucy.
That's
Don't
the
read the
GFY
margins.
right there.
Game hasn't started. Are y'all ready to get going?
Yes. Let's go.
All right, everybody grab a drink, pull up a chair, come hang out with us at the Red Wagon Inn where last we left off. It has been some days since you all have actually seen any sort of direct sunlight. That red, fiery lightning cloud above you that's constantly churning now looms ever present. Even in midday, the only thing that allows you to see is actually the glow from the clouds, not the sun itself. It is quite not dim, but just everywhere in itself is not as bright as you would expect it to be. It constantly looks like there is a storm outside. But as a result, most of your nights are not terribly dark anymore either. So you're able to see some things that you normally wouldn't be, and otherwise the sun is not there to provide comfort for you. You all are, and pulling the map up for everybody to see once more, you all are right at the tip of the Black Forest, right near where Wimburn is. The group has decided to follow along the opening path near the Bloodstocks and going nearby Crystal Hollow to get up to the city of Cavity towards the top left. So, with that, Ordell, you have just learned about your comet necklace, but there is planned to be a nearly week-long journey on the edge of the forest. You'll be able to go a little bit faster than you would have normally been able to in the forest, and so you're going to be able to cover this ground. Elijah says that he's going to be able to get everyone to Cavity within a week if you go along this path, and as long as everybody keeps up. So there's going to be kind of a quick pace going now, a little bit of hustle behind everybody during this time of this hustle as you move along the forest. Last we ended with was Ordell screaming out heavily as his body was returned to him from the comet necklace and hearing a loud footstep sound come from deep in the Black Forest behind you. What is everybody doing? Good. some
Ordell
urgency.
throws
I
up a
love it.
little bit.
Did you say you throw up?
Oh yeah, he throws up a little bit. He just went on like the what's it called? The space shot, like just in the matter of 5 seconds. And Ordell, the closest thing to a fairground was at his place, a little rocking horse. After that, oh yeah.
Yeah. As Ordell suddenly re-enters his body through his astral form, you topple over, vomiting heavily after screaming out. The group kind of comes over to kind of pat him on the shoulder just to see what happens, because nobody besides Ordell knows that he went high up in the sky with a ghostly image. They only know that he was passed out for a minute before screaming and throwing up. Now you all see him vomiting on the ground, go over to comfort him, and hear the loud footsteps from the forest behind. You hear the sound of several blades pulling out of their scabbards from the paladins nearby as they look into the forest, trying to spot what happened and where the noise came from. What are you all doing?
Does this noise sound familiar?
Roll a nature survival check.
Survival 14.
It does not. It doesn't sound like the moving of the trees from the giant skeleton, if that's what I'm thinking that you're trying to recall. It sounds different. It sounds like one lumbering footstep, whereas that was something pulling itself along the ground and grasping at trees.
Queen, Bone Queen. Hey, do you think this? Can you hear that? Right, you can hear that huge footsteps.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's nothing.
Do you think it could be a friend of the old skeletal giant that liked to keep people in cages?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
There is not friends out here.
I mean, the large skeletal creature was very nice to me, at least.
Pretty sure you told me yesterday that it cursed your jaw.
I might have, but it was nice to me, at least.
Winter, can you please levitate me up?
Yes. Sure. Why?
Maybe I can get a view of what it is.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Quite a
Yes,
Was
you
that
can.
a question? Because I cannot answer that question if you
no.
are asking.
Well, I can. It just takes a lot of energy. But yeah, okay. And
Do
I
you
like
want to know what the noise is now, or when it comes to us?
Ritter
and I
says, I'd rather not wait to find out, as he knocks an arrow onto his bow.
I will generate that green energy and like with a gush of my hands shoot XE up into the sky.
XC slowly begins lifting upwards. XC, you've never been levitated like this, and it takes a second to get used to. You kind of find yourself free twirling around before some quick calculations in your head immediately allow you to put your arms out straight and catch yourself at an upward angle. In doing so, you're able to survey outward from the forest. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. We'll have you do it at advantage since you are floating.
We'll take the advantage because that was a 7. And that's a 1. So 14 perception is the best I can do.
14.
You know what? I'm going to use an inspo.
Okay.
21. That's better.
21. Solid.
use an info
Much
controller.
better answer. As XC, you fly upward from the forest before you do see what looks to be the shoulder or back of some quite large creature. Fur blackened and a mane almost like a pointed together faux hawk is the best description I can give along the hump of its back. You can't see its head. Its head is either lower as it has horrible posture, or its head simply is lower to the ground than this thing. Its back sticks up to the very top of these trees, which you know to be about 50 feet in height. Whatever it is quite large, and it's about a quarter mile to the south of you. As it makes these footsteps, it is headed in your direction.
Gotcha. I'll do some movements, hopefully letting Winter know I want to go down.
I'm gonna message like as soon as he gets up top and say, "What can you see? Are we okay?
Bring me down
Please,
quickly.
please."
You're welcome.
No, you're whatever. I'm lower.
XC, you begin floating downward onto the ground. During this time, you all have heard several more quite large footsteps. XC, it didn't seem to be running or sprinting in your direction, more just going to check out what that noise was. So you have some time, but not a ton.
As soon as I get close enough to the ground, I will convey as quickly and succinctly as possible exactly what you've passed on to me.
Okay. I
Is
need...
this a...
Actually, that would be Winter, Ashrin, Ritter, and Elijah are going to roll nature checks on that. Good.
Thank you, Winter. That was useful.
7?
7. Good. Nobody knows what that creature is based on the description. Not even Ritter or Elijah, who have gone through this forest many times. I don't have any recollection of a beast that lumbers forward like that. We best be getting a move on.
Yes. Let's, I mean, is there a way of skirting around it, XC, or is it entirely, like, does it look like it has consciousness? Is it aware of us already?
It is going in a straight line directly towards us. I believe that shows some kind of consciousness.
Knowing that where it's coming from, where XC said, I'm gonna grab like one of my hand axes and I'm just gonna like throw it as far as I can towards wherever the thing is, just so it like hits a tree, makes a noise, and then I'm just gonna like get running with everyone.
Okay, so you're going to just throw it straight south in the direction that it's coming?
Yeah.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll me a strength or athletics.
Athletics. I like that roll. 22.
22, solid. Ordell picks up the axe as Elijah looks at you and says, are you all right? You say, fine, before you throw the axe, and it goes flying over the tops of some nearby trees as you wait a moment before you hear the thwack of iron against hard bark. And you hear another loud footstep in return.
Let's move.
Okay. Ordell picks his gear back up and begins moving. Does everybody go to follow?
I point to Emma and I point to the ring I'm holding.
It's fine. I'll stay out of it for now. Who knows? This thing could have been. And then, like, I would assume Emma probably gets grabbed by someone as she's like, ah.
This ring could have... As Ashrin grabs you by the collar and pulls you forward to follow. Everyone now moving in the right direction. Let's see, XC, as you're moving, you notice Ritter is trailing behind, pulling upon some magic to obscure your tracks as you move along. You all feel a bit stealthier as you do so. Hopefully this thing won't be able to follow you as you move further to the west. But everyone's moving at quite a solid pace. Knowing that there is some large creature out here that can easily outpace you, there's a solid jog, solid run to everybody, some urgency for the first time on this side of the forest as you now skirt outside of the Black Forest and begin to see regular trees, oaken trees, some willow, some yew. A real forest is here that isn't covered in black and gray leaves and gray bark. This is the first time you've seen real living plants that weren't just so scarce like the one sapling that you saw a long time ago. Real green, lush here to the north. But you also can feel the ground harden as you walk, as it is quite cold now that you're here to the north. You're certain that it's going to start snowing if it ever rains, because it is cold here. Winter and Ashrin, as a result, if the two of you keep up without getting any sort of winter gear at some point, if you try and do anything too harsh, you're going to get points of exhaustion or some con damage if you go past that. But for now, you're okay. You're with the Paladins of the Flame, and so there are ways for them to keep you warm as you go. But doing too much on your own will be a rough deal. Everybody else really doesn't have to worry about it too much, though Ordell would have to if it gets too freezing cold. Still have skin. But everyone goes for maybe about an hour along this side of the forest, trying to get out of the Black Forest before... I'm assuming everybody's making sure that there is no thing following them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So often shoulder checking. Also, like, forward checking in case there's anything we're running into.
Perception check from everybody except Emma, I would say, because Emma wasn't all that worried and had to be dragged off. But if you feel that you are worried after an hour of running, then yeah, you can go ahead and give me a perception check.
So
Are
we've
we stopping or are we still running?
Still running.
have we been? So we've been running for an hour.
Yes.
So I definitely have lost that levitate spell.
Correct.
Good to know.
18.
What do we got? 18 from XC.
Perception.
Yeah.
24.
24. Ordell.
Tie with Winter or Nat 20.
Oh, solid. Emma?
I didn't roll.
Oh, okay. So, XC, you are very focused on the path forward, but you're also noticing this vast open area here. You're on the edge of the forest, and it kind of makes you uncomfortable from a tactical standpoint, that if there is something now on the north side of you, you might be seen. But it's able to make you go faster, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. You kind of have to pick what you want to do. But as Winter and Ordell are looking back, just as Ordell and Winter are starting to talk, like, okay, maybe we can slow up a little bit. I haven't heard its footsteps in some time, though you did hear them for probably 30 minutes or so heading in your direction. Before, back to the west, where you ran away from, you begin to see a swirling of clouds above, maybe half a mile or a mile away from your location, before you see what looked to be not too dissimilar from the comets that you saw before, Ordell, but a bevy of about 10 large falling objects flaming fall from the sky into the forest. As you're walking, you hear them after you see them. Maybe about 10 seconds or so go by before you hear a loud and see the trees bend and creak from the fire and the rock that has fallen from the sky. And you all kind of stumble back just for a minute as the shockwave finally hits you. Something did something in that forest that created a large burst of magic.
We need to move even further.
I think Ordell would have kind of full body shield over Winter, like with the shockwave and the debris. And then just kept trying to get people hustling. Because if stuff is now falling from the sky, that cannot be chosen like friend or foe. So I think getting as far as we can is Ordell's biggest priority right now.
Perfect. Ordell, as everyone's kind of reeling from trying to figure out what's going on, Ordell takes a bit of charge and says, we need to move now, before trying to pull everyone off to the west. Anybody else have anything to add or follow right along with Ordell and Ashrin, who is back and so present as the shockwave knocked your consciousness back into itself? You were just kind of coasting along there for a while, really phoning it in, but you're here now.
Can I identify at all, and I know this is probably an actual spell, but does the magic look similar to any kind of magic that I've seen?
I would
would
let
I be able
you
to
roll
see what kind of type?
Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check on that. Emma would have been able to if she had seen it, but you and Ordell were the only two.
Nah, 15.
You're not entirely even sure that it was magic. It could have just been something to deal with the large lightning-based clouds that are above you that blot out the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to tell.
I have no idea what that is. I think you're right, Ordell. We need to get out of here as quickly as possible.
Or I'm just saying it could be friendly. I'm just throwing it out there.
Emma's gonna grab. Winter's gonna grab Emma's hand and like tug her again.
Why does everyone keep doing this?
What friend do you have that can make that rain from the sky? Because I would like to know that they're on our side.
Well, they're probably all dead now, but
Then you just answered your own earlier statement, whether it's on our side or not.
it could be.
Well, I mean, you guys are dead and you're on our side, so and let's keep moving.
as everyone continues to rush off further to the west. Jakey, brief recap. Those large footsteps you heard before were chasing you. Something fell out of the sky. Y'all are running to the west near the Bloodstocks now, and it's cold. It's very cold for you in winter. You don't have winter gear. Haha. So y'all are running from some sort of comet. About 10 or so of them fell from the sky. So, perfect. Don't think I caught that little phone joke. So, I only saw one GFY in the chat, so haha. As everyone moves further to the west, continuing at their heavy pace, you all go for some time before you feel that you must be safe at this point. At such a heavy pace, it does come at a burden, as everyone is feeling tired at this point. Your legs are kind of just seizing up, but you're not exhausted so much as you just are out of breath and unable to really kind of recuperate, just covered in sweat, and as it's kind of cold, it's sticking to you and making things quite uncomfortable. You're gonna have some issues with dexterity checks until you guys get warm, but you've been running for some time during the day. As far as you can tell, it is getting closer to nighttime. Still hard to tell with the sun being blotted out by the clouds, but it does get darker when it would be nighttime. For the first time, you feel like you can rest. Everyone is here on the edge of this forest. You could either go further in the forest for a little bit more cover. You're no longer in the Black Forest, and so Ritter and Elijah seem to think it's a little less dangerous. Or you could stick yourself out in the open. More chance of being seen, but also more chance of seeing something that might sneak up on you. What are you all wanting to suggest?
I can't think. I'm so cold.
I would rather be out in the open. I think stealth is not exactly an option for us.
As I kind of indicate to, like, respectfully to the paladins of the flame, but like I go to show most of them are in like heavier armor.
We
Sasha.
can be better prepared if we see them coming.
Sasha, I agree with the two of them. I think I'm done with the forest for a bit. Let's stick to the edge.
Very well.
At least we can see what's coming that way.
Right. I want watches all night, 2 people to a watch, with whatever that thing was. It's too big and too fast. We were running the whole time, so we need people on watch. Want a fire going? Let's get everybody warm. We'll set out first thing in the morning.
Don't you think that having a fire is going to make it really obvious as to where we are?
I'm
It's that or we freeze.
quite cold.
May I offer a suggestion?
Everyone kind of
Yes?
stops like, yeah, sure, please.
We should light 4 different fires in 4 different locations. We used this tactic back in the war to confuse our enemies to not know which one we were at.
It's not a bad idea, Middleman. We could do that.
Mm.
Do we keep a post at each fire?
I think
If
that
you
would
want to
be
keep
best.
the fire going, you can either keep a post at each fire, or we can do a rotating path where the watch is going past every hour to make sure they stay alight.
You're the expert on this tactic. What do you think?
I think we use a rotating group because that means that if something does happen, we are in usually a singular location as opposed to having a lot of our people split up.
Well, I'm all right with that. Let's get some wood chopped down. Let's get some fires going. Let's warm up for the night. Cold.
Suggestion,
I mean,
Exie.
yeah, the moving might actually keep us warmer as well.
Good.
Mm.
Why don't we get the fires going and get the logs? You all figure out a watch for the night. As Elijah pulls out small hand axe from his pack, as do some of the paladins, to get ready to chop some of the wood. You can join them if you like, but he does suggest that you all figure out a watch for the night.
I'd be happy to stick with my buddy. I think I could help maybe setting the fires.
That would be good. I was going to ask the Winter, could you help me with something?
And Ordell's gonna take basically the Winter's baby Bjorn off his bag, and then the pelt he stripped off that big like goat boy we killed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If I mix these together and you stay on my back, if it gets too cold where we're going, you have a warm spot to stay.
Thank you. That looks super cozy.
I will need an extra hand, though. So if you're busy, though, tonight, I will get the assistance of someone else.
I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take us to set the fires, but I could help when I get back.
Sounds good. I will start working till then.
Thank you, Odell.
Of course.
As Alex and I same mind. Here's a hand. As the paladins go to chop the wood, everyone begins setting up at one singular location away from the edge of the forest in the middle of this open area. I'll show here on the map. You're basically directly below where the forest edge is on the left side of Wimburn, right where it kind of forks from there. You'd be right in the middle of that fork. So near the lake from the Merfolk Falls and not too far off from Crystal Hollow. You guys made good time when you run for your lives. So with that, the paladins go to grab wood. Winter and Elijah help set the 4 flames. Why don't we do it this way? XC, since you have been kind of commanding this 4 flame idea, north, east, south, or west flame? Where are you all staying?
The furthest away from where this beast was coming from.
Okay, probably the north side then. So with that, you all gather yourself up on the north side. Elijah asks who's on what watch, obviously volunteering the paladins for some watch duty as well. Being that you're so spread out, though, he does recommend 4 people instead of 2. That way, if you do get caught out at one of the other flames, you have some sort of backup. So
I agree. We should have 2 always maintained at the camp and then 2 doing the rotating.
Exactly. So who is volunteering for rotating duty and who's volunteering for staying at the camp? Everybody's expected to do one of those.
Wardell will stay at the camp because he's going to be working. But while he works, though, he's done this enough that he can like keep an eye out because he's just fixing a pelt to basically a back sled.
Perfect.
I'll stay with Ordell and watch the camp.
Okay.
Well, what is Ritter
Emma
doing?
And I will patrol.
XC will patrol. Emma?
XC says Emma and I will
Oh,
patrol.
sorry, I didn't hear the Emma part. Yes. Emma, you are being volunteered to patrol. Asher and Ritter feels far more comfortable doing some patrol. So if you'd like to join him on one, you can.
Since he is my buddy, I will follow my buddy, and then only for buddy's sake and no more.
Buddy's sake and no more. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
As Emma and XC. Right, exactly. Emma and XC, you're going to have the first rotating watch, basically showing people how it's done.
Can we have the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th?
That's exactly what I was going to say is the 3rd and 4th one, because you only need 4 hours of rest. Or you want all 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
I'm happy to do all 2nd, 3rd, and 4th if Emma is. I just need the first watch to... Well, actually, no, we should do the 3rd and 4th, because I need one watch to work on some tooling.
Perfect. Then that's fine. Ritter and Ashrin, since Ashrin, you only need 4 hours, and patrolling is kind of Ritter's thing. He's fine to take the first watch with you, and then the paladins will take over the 2nd. XC and Emma will take over the 3rd and 4th. So we'll start with Ashrin and Ritter. Both of you roll me a perception check.
Do.
Please, Lynn.
16.
16. Okay, Ritter also got a 16. So as you all are, or you two are going around the camp from flame to flame, we'll say it's probably a solid 100 yards or so in between each flame. Enough ground to where if you saw something, you could run or decide to stand and fight without being too far to where you wouldn't even be able to do anything about the flames. As Ritter's going along, he seems to be humming some sort of melody. He has his bow in hand with an arrow held, but nothing actually knocked to his bow, just in general kind of keeping watch and walking about. Was there something you wanted to talk to Ritter about?
That's a pretty tune.
Thanks. Do you know of any from your homeland?
Right, what would I know any from my homeland?
Of course. Who doesn't know about the Crimson Elf songs? All of the raining blood
screaming
from Slayer.
Cut my life into pieces.
I guess a beautiful love ballad.
There is a I think it was like a Kids Bop or like a Christian Kids Bop version of Papa Roach, by the way, Last Resort, that just says like, give my life into Jesus. This is my
No.
plastic for it's a good time. Blazelin calling you out for being a filthy crimson elf. You would absolutely know some traditional Crimson Elf songs. Not all of them are just about blood and sacrifice. Most of the Crimson Elf songs are about family and hearth and home, really hitting home that family is the one thing that you have in this world, the one thing that you should never give up, which, Ashrin, whether you sing those or not, being that you had to leave, is up to you. But those are the traditional Crimson songs.
A little ironic. Also, Blazelin did say flirty, not filthy.
You're right. I just read that.
GFY. GFY.
Way to take it to the next level, Rybo.
I thought filthy like not that way, but like, oh wow, I don't trust a crimson elf. Which, I mean, they are blood ritualists, so I get it. Alex, you can't start it.
He's only following after me. I do know some. The irony to them is not lost beyond me, though.
Well, care to sing one?
When did Ashrin become a bard? No, I'll just start to hum a tune and then mumble, not even say clearly about how family is above all. Kind of talks fast past that, but then get to the really cute chorus, and just repeat things over and over, and then really mumble past the family part and repeat.
It's a lot of change in intonation with this song here. I was kind of confused.
I wasn't judging you for your artistic interpretation of your song either.
I just hummed. I didn't even share the words. I didn't know we were going to speak songs of the past, but seems that you aren't too keen on many of yours.
Well, you did say I need to open up more, so I figure this is a step.
Roll.
But if it's
Go ahead.
But if it's not good enough, I can just close back up again. That's fine by me.
It's fine. I just didn't expect it. Roll a persuasion, being that you're very open and honest with him.
Ooh, dicey encounters with the 18 plus 2, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. This is kind of one of the first times that you've really got to hear Ritter have like a genuine chuckle or laugh as you share like, oh, I thought we were opening up with each other. It's very super story where, lots of haha, poke fun at you versus poking fun back. Before he says, fine. I'll sing you. So I'll sing the actual lyrics instead of hum them. As he begins to sing an old poem that seems to hit very home for him. Much of the lyrics are very apropos to your current situation and possibly his past. As he says, "'Twas down by Korra's black woods that we strayed, when the moon and the stars were shining. The moon shone its rays on your locks of silken hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Black is the rose in yonder garden grows, fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the mount, but my love is fairer than any." I believe he was singing it. Well, then go check out Red Was the Rose by the High Kings on Spotify. You'll hear a version less appropriate to Korra and Black Roses, more red roses, but still.
She just stands there stunned for a little bit, like, wow, that was an old one from your lands?
No, I wrote it here. The first words were Korra's Black Woods.
Right. I was so in awe, I missed that.
Understand. I did not shy away from the chorus.
Good for you.
As
Was it about? Oh shoot, her name Stardust. Was it Star written for Stardust?
it was, we used to sing quite often just to entertain each other. In the nights, you don't want to do anything in the forest that could get you caught, but every now and again we would risk a song just to remind us of why Avian stayed here instead of back in the Fae. There weren't many songs back in the Fae.
So, what were you back in the Fae before you were a assassin?
I was not. I was a slave, actually, to the Shadar-kai. They... I don't know. Perhaps you'll view me differently if I tell you.
We all ended up in the same place anyways. I will not see you any differently.
I was plucked from my mother when I was born, and my parents were killed just for having me.
Why?
Supposedly, a Shadar-kai seer said I would be something great one day, a knight renowned through the lands, and they didn't want that. So they took quite a few people from our realm and took us to the Feywild. We were treated in service to the Shadar-kai, the queen, the Raven Queen, and I grew up knowing nothing but pain and servitude until I was finally deemed unfit for service in the forest, and I was sold or traded to Stardust. She took me here as we were on assignment to learn of this land and if it would be a good place for the queen to come and try and make a base. It is hard for people outside of Asterion to see into these lands from the energy that remains after the war.
I'm sorry, you were sold to Stardust?
I was. We actually kind of grew up around each other, though. Obviously, I was slave and she was a warrior. But she was kinder to me than many of the others. Once we got here and she knew that she wasn't being tracked or followed, we just decided to stay and never go back.
And then you got two fell in love?
The Shadar-kai treat love very differently. I think she might have loved me as a kin and finally accepted me outside of being a slave. But no, I am no assassin. I was a scout for her. I wasn't even allowed to have a weapon until we came here. But in a way, she gave me freedom that I'd never had before, and I learned from her and watched her hunt, and so I carry her bow now that she no longer lives, and try and avenge her as best I can.
Wow. I mean, the Ritter, you have a soft core to you that I didn't really expect.
I wouldn't... Yes. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do any of this. I just want to find all those who live here that would seek to destroy the lives of others so that they could just live on their own. Why can't we just live and just take this land that nobody wants and claim it for our own? Once they're gone, that's what I hope to do. I know there are free folk in the north who would love this land, who could farm on it. There's ash all around. Plants could grow to the south out here if people didn't take more than they could use. I don't know, we wanted to do it for a long time, but we just never could.
Why not?
There's too many of them, too few of us. She was so good, such a good shot. I was learning to try and help, but she was on her own doing it for a long time. I'd never even picked up her bow until she was gone.
I mean, you're a good shot yourself. Why can't you take the reins?
It's been 5 years since she's died. I'm learning, but I'm still not there yet. I'm trying, as you saw. At least Tattages, or the new former ruler's town, fears me, which is good, but that's why I made sure to ask that if I ever see a raider, please do not stop me, because I will end their life.
Your personal goals are nothing I should intercede. Fair. Fair.
Thanks. And please keep this, at least, hidden from the paladins. I don't care if you tell the group, but the paladins, I don't know if I trust them just yet. You're at probably the furthest fire away at this point, as he said that. I've heard bad stories, and all ones that I've mentioned to you before, but I've never been to Cavity. Stardust went there once, but I never went. She didn't want to speak much of it.
I don't trust them either, and I won't tell anybody as long as you don't tell anyone about my horrible singing.
I mean, I have to tell somebody. I'm going to need to get my ears checked, aren't I, from one of their
I
medics?
will prove you wrong and sing way better than I did right now in front of people who you were telling.
Please, regale me.
And I like, she doesn't know what to do, so she just like sticks her hand out to shake it, and she's like, thank you, Ritter.
This isn't quite the song I expected, but you're welcome.
And then she puts her hands really stiffly to her side, and then she just like, okay, what do we do on patrol again?
I mean to ask you about some stuff of your people. I know a lot of the Shadowkai, but we can save that for another time. Too much talk in one night can lead to forgetting. I'll ask you on the morrow.
Yep. And her hands are still stuck at her side.
As Ritter and Ashrin go to finish their watch, you don't notice anything out and about for the first part of the night. XC was planning on doing a few things with Emma in regards to a bullet, if I recall. You might be muted.
I am muted.
Ah.
Negative, not in regards to a bullet. I am fashioning a circlet with a clasp design that holds an emerald that can swivel around my head.
Ah, perfect. Well, that might be easier or more difficult depending on your tinker's check. Go ahead and roll me that.
Thank God I'm a freaking good tinkerer. 19 plus tinkering is 24.
Solid roll. What metal are you using for this?
I'm using one of my days worth of scrap.
Okay. So you're probably going to be able to clean it up a little bit, but because it's scrap metal, it's going to be far more crude looking than I'm sure you would like it if you were trying to be very delicate with it. But with a 24, you're able to craft exactly what you're looking for. It's going to take a bit of time, but since it's so crude and the metal itself is crude and you're just trying to get the shape to hold, that sight-based emerald is what I'm assuming that you're trying to create. Perfect.
Basically, it's a channel, and then it's a clasp that I can, I guess, push around and it'll move where the emerald sits.
Perfect. Then yeah, because you're not trying to create a magic item itself, you're more just holding a magic item. You can make this in one night without much of a problem. You'll have to spend the first 2 watches, so probably 4 hours doing so. But yeah, you would have no problem being able to do that. So as that's happening, Emma, what were you planning on doing before we go to Ordell and Winter?
Emma's gonna try and reach out to the cleric deity every night until she can get a hold of them again and be like, hey, I goofed. Can you send me something else to boil?
Just a bunch of Snapchat messages being like, hey, I showed you my skeleton. Please respond.
Showed you my bone. Please reply.
Mm-hmm.
As
You up?
You Emma, go ahead and roll me a percentile roll since you're speaking to the cleric god.
All right. And just in case, I would love to do this just in case.
Because
we all
last
know how
time
these
everybody
go.
cheated on percentiles.
75.
75. You look up to the night sky as you sit on the edge of the camp, drawing with your finger into the dirt several symbols to your god. Being unable to see the stars where you hope to see a message, you don't hear anything in reply. Perhaps punishment for not boiling the slug that was originally given.
In that case, you'll look up and say, "You have to be more specific."
A small
And
letter
then
appears from the sky that says, "No, just listen, you dumbass."
And
How does that happen?
Emma goes back in the ring. No, yeah, okay.
Okay. Emma, you'll be resting then until your watch. Ordell and Winter, both of you are trying to turn this baby Bjorn into a winter baby Bjorn. Quite literally. Winter, baby Bjorn. As such, I'm going to go ahead and need some crafts check from Ordell, but since Winter's helping, I'll let you do it at advantage.
Heck yeah. Yeah, the kind of goal is to make just like fix the pelt on like the back of it so it can roll down and back up, just so that like if we use it on a normal time, Winter's not cooking alive. I'm gonna use my knowledge from a past life. Ooh. What is crafting again? Because I have proficiency with carpenter's tools, but I don't know what.
Should be proficiency plus your strength for carpenters.
Oh, great. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's a 25 total.
Solid.
With knowledge from a past life. So it would be 20 and then plus an additional 5 from that. Yeah.
Solid.
I'm gonna
Winter.
just like look like I'm helping, but but not doing a great job. Just like
all he needs from you to help is to sit in the baby Bjorn and make sure that he doesn't make the fur from the Kragum too tight to where you wouldn't even be able to fit, and also be able to. So while you're sitting there, you're a full human and need a solid rest. So you actually begin to nod off, and Ordell, you go to turn around and nail in part of the thing before you wave in front of her face. Oh, she's definitely asleep, but she said she was helping, so you hit one nail on the edge. Winter does not move. She is out. She is a solid sleeper here, and so you can either continue and finish up the building or let Winter sleep.
I think I work around her, and I think Ordell, with this like knowledge from a past life ability, there's been a lot of like Ordell understanding that something is guiding him, and I think this time he's like, you know what, while Winter's sleeping, he's gonna actually listen to whatever the like memories are calling to him. And I think for this specific one, alluding to Ordell's past life, while he's kind of working and starting to like sand at the wood on the sides, and like get things ready for like the pelt to like line up, he like hears a voice that's similar to his own speaking behind him, and Ordell kind of pauses and reaches into his bag and pulls out like a small burlapped wrapped item and opens it, and it's a small like just like a dagger, but it looks like it's handmade, and Ordell starts using that to kind of chip away at some of the wood so that he can like set things in. So instead of just having it so it's just like rail spikes and like things like holding it together, he's using the pressure of the wood on it. And I think Ordell is like kind of zoned out of his entire background, and then when he finishes, he just kind of like sits like by where Winter's head is, where she's sleeping, and he just kind of like looks where he would have looked over his shoulder and thinks.
Winter, you were asleep for all of this. However, you would have been impressed by the not only high level of craftsmanship, but the ability to actually do it in a quiet enough way to keep you asleep as you tucker yourself out inside the winter-based baby Bjorn. And it's quite warm. You're next to the fire. It is very much like sleeping in a sleeping bag. It feels so good. It's just, you're out. But as you wake up, you will notice the details that Ordell put into this to make sure that your comfort is top priority.
Ordell, this is beautiful. I definitely admired your craftsmanship the whole time.
Go
You
back to sleep, Winter.
As Ordell just kind of like tucks her in a little bit more and just like gives her like a little pat on the cheek of just like, I caught you.
can I ask you a question, Ordell?
Yes.
You always seem to take care of us, to worry about our needs and to make sure we have everything that we could possibly want or need for survival, but you spent so many years living alone.
Hmm.
Why?
I don't have many memories, but I have one that visits me often when I sleep. I see a place. I couldn't really describe it to you if I wanted to, but it looks broken and worn down. And where I go, if I see any people, if you can call them that, shapes, they are empty-handed and sad. And there's much more of them than there is me. But I feel called to build the broken place around them and make it better, so that someday they may build their own place, and then whatever those shapes are, maybe they can make a place that is nice. That is why I was building what was in my junkyard. I wanted to make a place that could start something. I don't know why I want to, and I don't know what it even means, but that is how I feel called. So that is why I reach out to each of you.
You see, are they memories or are they still with you?
I'm not sure. Just now, while I was working, the one thing I know that I can channel in this undeath is I can reach into whatever lives I had once. And there is a voice I often hear. And I will be honest, I am not afraid of much, but I do fear that voice. I hide from it. It often yells very awful things at me. Whatever life I had, it was unkind, and it was cruel. The worst part of it, though, is it sounds just like my voice.
Have you ever spoken back to it?
I've had dreams where I did once. I didn't know what I said back. But whenever I responded, the voice did not. Whether that's a memory or a dream. I have a tough time when I bond with people, or I care for them, and they don't seem to need me anymore. So I made good purpose of building something so that those who need it could just take from it. But knowing that whatever this voice was didn't need anything from me, that is hard.
I'm gonna reach my hand out of the sleeping bag and kind of hold on to his and say, we're always gonna need you, Ordell, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. You know that, right?
I do. And I hope you all know you do so much more for me.
What's up with like Ritter and Ashrin?
I am positive they are off in the bush, not watching what's around them.
As Ordell, like, he does that thing where he kind of like slumps down and lays like this beside where Winter is, and just like does the whole like, ooh, we're having slumber party now.
Winter's
What do
just
you
gonna
think
ask
they're
for
up
some,
to?
Winter's gonna
Exactly.
ask for some suggestions for her book and sort of share some of the pages that she's been writing. with Ordell. Specifically the Obsidian King and Crimson Queen chapters.
Oh my, that is. Ooh, that's a good title for that alone.
Thank you.
I would say like a raven chases a robin, something like that. The red bird and the black bird dancing in the sky. Very, that kind of romantic, but still like, that kind of energy.
The old birds and the birds talk.
And Winter's gonna make notes and compare that until she like cozies back down and falls asleep. Obviously, while keeping a really good watch.
Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
As Ashrin and Ritter finish their watch, a couple of paladins go out before Emma and XC. It eventually comes to your watch in the night when everybody else has stopped and resting. I need perceptions from both of you.
25.
5.
Solid. Emma, you are kicking the dirt as you walk along, angry that your god chose not to give you any other thing to boil or squish, and you're just quite angry. Exie?
I don't know if Emma's going to be walking along.
No, Emma's gonna go into the
Oh,
ring.
gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying
And
now.
she's gonna watch
It's like-
from the emerald.
So
Pretty sure
to
it was you
confirm,
that asked
Emma,
for Emma. Got it.
can you see this way?
Using message to point through the ring, just generically at XC. Yes.
Can you see this way? Can you see
Uh-huh.
this way? Can
Yep.
you see this way? What
I
about
can.
this way?
Yep.
Can I confirm all 360 degrees?
Yes. Go ahead.
What happens if I do this?
It's very dizzying.
Amazing. I think this works.
I think it works as well. This can you
And then I
you
put-
can now be my little turret.
I put Emma facing backwards so she can take care of my back.
As with your 5 perception, it really actually was quite dizzying for you, and you are expected to watch XC's back. However, you're nursing a quite literal headache, and mostly looking down for a little bit and just massaging your bony cranium. But XC, your eyes are on the horizon and into the forest nearby to make sure that nothing could sneak up upon you. You don't...
Oh, I'll be sneaking as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check then.
I will, because I'm good at that. 12
I
plus
can
6 is 18.
exceed... Words, you get a GFY. You know you do. Pick who gets it. What was your stealth?
12 plus 6 is 18.
18. You're moving quite quietly. You actually choose not to go around any of the fires and stick mostly to the shadows to be as hidden as possible. In doing so, you're fairly certain that there's definitely nobody out in the open watching you, but you also don't see any movement within the trees. You hear a few owls and crows at night, but not much other than that. But what you do notice is, though it is dark, there seems to be a thicker gathering of clouds to the west from your location, in the direction that you're all headed.
Interesting. I
But-
swing the emerald back towards the front. Emma, do you
Mm.
notice that? And I point out towards the clouds.
Can I see the clouds from the emerald?
To you, it would look like just clouds unless XC points something very specific about it. Everything
Yes,
has...
I'm being as specific as possible.
Then yeah, you do point out that there is a thicker, more roiling amount of clouds to the west.
Does that look magical to you?
What does it look like looking through the looking emerald?
It literally looks like if you were to just close one eye and like put it up through a monocle or glasses that aren't yours, right? You're still able to see. You can see things up close very well, but things off in the distance begin to get a little blurry.
Okay.
But you're still able to see and make out what XE's talking about. It's just not as clear as you would like it to be.
They look like clouds.
Very
Just imagine,
perceptive
like-
of you, Emma.
Emma's sitting like just reclined back on a pillow, reading a book, nomming on an apple. Just like, yup, those are clouds.
Understood. They do not look magical to you.
They sure don't.
And then just continue walking. Or stealthing, should I say.
Perfect. You continue on with your watch for the night before eventually having to wake everybody up. I'm a little mad because Words gave me the GFY that they earned. I gave you all this power and you use it on me. Okay, great. No, I love it. As eventually, it's time to go. XC, you and Emma have been on watch for far long enough. These humans that you're with have been sleeping. You need to get going if you want to keep the pace that you want to. You kept the fires going throughout the night, but luckily, whether you either didn't notice something coming to any of the other fires or that just scared things off, thinking that there might have been multiple groups here, you went unnoticed throughout the night. So, the new day starts as Elisha gets all the paladins up and everyone is ready to go. Is there anything you want to do before heading off, anybody? Which, by the way, everybody does get a point of inspo because everybody did some good RPing, and I'm a generous boy today.
Heck yeah. I'm at 2.
Woo.
I will say an hour before, because Ordell does his like catatonic thing. I'm gonna go to XC so he can attune to it, and I'm gonna give him the comet necklace.
This will give you a bird's eye view of things. You speak the word once it's bound to you, comet, and you will.
Hold on, are you holding
Check
it as you
vision.
give it to him?
I guess, but like if I'm holding it and I say the word comet without the intent to use it, does it still do it?
High or low, Jakey? And chat, tell me what you prefer.
Every time I've been asked this, I say high, so I'm gonna stick to it. High.
High. Okay. High, low, yes, high, high. Okay, seems most people are agreeing with you. So, XC, he had already handed the collar off to you, but tells you what the code word is and says be careful with it. Otherwise, you will go flying up into the air.
We will work on this together in this evening's downtime.
Sounds good.
And I put it away.
Okay. You now have the comet necklace. Are you putting on or just putting away for the time being?
No, I'm just putting into one of my secret pockets.
Perfect.
Probably where Emma is.
That's where all jewelry goes.
Yeah,
I'm just like
XC's so fashionable. He has a jewelry compartment.
Emma doesn't go with jewelry. She goes with the nuts and bolts, right?
I kind of want to give an inspo, but no, I won't.
Come on, that was good.
I already gave you one. Right. So everybody's beginning to head off for the day. Nothing else planned for anybody? Great.
Getting the baby Bjorn on, because I'm assuming we're getting cold.
It is cold. Ashrin is going to be quite cold compared to Winter, who now has a quite literal fur tent to walk upon. Because Ashrin, you don't have any winter gear on you. But you're not alone. The Paladins and Ritter are also quite cold, as weren't really expecting too much. Paladins think they have their own flames, and you do see some of them lighting torches to hold as they walk along, but they don't exactly have a ton of supplies to spare.
Emma's probably gonna be out of the ring by this time.
Okay.
And then probably seeing that Ashrin is cold, she would use prestidigitation and at least warm up like her inner clothes, I guess you would say.
Okay. So just every now and again as you're walking along, you choose to keep Ashrin warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
On top of that, Ordell, because I have 10 of them, Ordell's going to give Ashrin 5 torches.
So you can burn during the day.
Thank you, everyone. Emma, you wouldn't happen to have anything in your ring? Anything spare from when you did have skin, maybe?
I don't know. I can go look. Zip.
How big is the baby Bjorn? Like, can we just take turns in the baby? I feel like Ashrin, do you want to ride in here sometimes? I feel horrible. I'm insanely cozy and I can share.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Honestly, like I'm almost too hot.
I'll be fine. I might take you up on it later. I'll see what Emma says.
Don't worry, I will make sure that Ritter carries the Bjorn instead of me. You will be very warm then.
As I give her a pat on the shoulder and continue walking forward.
She just looks severely confused.
Don't think I could carry that as Winter Ritter follows along.
Rybo, could I roll a percentile to see if I would have, because she does have a wardrobe in there. That's why she's changing outfits. Can I roll a percentile to see if there is something wintry in there?
I would say, based on the locations that you have lived, you would have never had a need for
They
it.
probably, yeah, I was gonna say probably not.
Yeah, be something that you'll have to try and find. You won't be alone in trying to find it. Once you get there, that'll be a priority for all the humans, Ashrin and Ritter, and possibly Winter if she doesn't want to be in a baby Bjorn.
Emma's gonna zip back out of the ring holding something very similar to what she's wearing now, with like the large open chest area, and be like, "This is about it."
What was it?
It's some fabric, and Emma will throw it over. It is like almost, it's like a silk feel to it. It's very breathable. Definitely not meant for winter.
That's exactly what I was imagining.
Brilliant kindling, Emma.
Sure.
I'm gonna like use it as insulation and just like shove it into between my armor and my skin. Thanks.
It makes a solid scarf almost with enough material for that.
Better than nothing.
As you're walking, Elijah says, "Don't worry, there's going to be fire aplenty once we make it to Cavity. The snow hardly even touches the ground around there. There's so many torches. It's a bastion of warmth. It's so good."
Right. I guess I do take one of the torches. Can I light it?
Yeah, totally. For using a torch for warmth rather than light, you're actually going to be like holding the torch by the middle of it and very close to your body. It's going to look very weird, but you can definitely light it and have it used for some warmth. Perfect. So
Emma's gonna look over to Elijah and say, "Elijah, am I gonna be all right going where we're going? I've noticed most of you paladins don't care for me, and you tolerate Ordell here because he is your chosen one, but..."
look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a conversation I'm gonna have to have. But Ordell is who we're looking for. His kind of undeath is exactly what we've been hoping to see up here. I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with him, but your kind, though you're not unwilling, will keep people at bay from you. I'll have to do some convincing, but I don't see why, if Ordell, being he's who we're looking for, wants you there, people would say no.
XC, and Emma's gonna go over to XC and just into the ring.
As everyone goes upon another journey further to the west, being that you're trying to skirt the edge of the forest, pulling the map back up for everyone to see again, you're kind of having to go further to the north. And in doing so, you do actually start to see a few drops of snow. Nothing that seems to stick to the ground. I guess flakes of snow. It's not a drop. Jakey, resident Canadian, can correct me here. As a few flakes of snow fall towards the ground. Bushels full of snow. An apple of snow falls to the ground.
No, flakes is good. Flakes
Okay,
is
flakes,
good.
yeah.
Stop while you're ahead.
A hockey puck of snow falls from the sky. One
Okay.
single puck. A flake of snow every now and again you can see fall towards the ground. It melts immediately as it touches your skin, though XC, it may not melt as it touches yours. But everybody else, as they go along, can begin to see it and just recognize exactly how cold it is. You're going to be going for a few days. You're not quite at at the same pace that you were when you were running from the Great Beast. But you're not going exactly slow here. And the further north you get, you do begin to see some patches of snow that are on the edges and underneath some large rocks where the sun might not reach all that often. You're getting close to the winter time period, and so it is gonna snow in general, but you're going further to the north near the frozen waste where it snows year round. So you're gonna start seeing it, start seeing the cold. About 2 days of journeys pass with the same kind of watch system that you set up the night before continues to happen. Rather uneventful. You stick to the edge of the forest. You begin to see a bit more snow as you go along. Again, nothing that really is worrisome or bothersome. Even the water or puddles that you do find are not frozen over as you go along. But you eventually, after the second day and on to what would be the third day of travel from this northern part of the Black Forest, about midway through the day, a couple of miles off, and you can see kind of upwards towards the base of some of the mountains built into the hill there, you begin to see a town. Elijah points it out to be Crystal Hollow. It's on the edge and side near one of these cliffs. You're maybe 3-4 miles away from this. You can only see it by the lights that you wouldn't normally be able to see during the day, but because of the clouds overhead, you can see some of the torches and an almost like light that seems to come on and offwards. XC, you recognize them to have some sort of lighthouse here in a landlocked area, which does leave you to question a few things, but there seems to be a lighthouse up in this area. Elijah says, "It's starting to get cold. We can either stop here if we need to, and maybe go visit the town. I don't advise for it. It's just going to slow us down. Or we can try and push on and get to Cavity as quickly as possible. We're near the Bloodstocks, and I don't like being here any more day than I have to."
Let's push on then. It will make many of us tired, but we will not have a restful night here.
Can I guess, do a survival check to see if I can tell if we're below seawater level or not?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a survival.
15 plus 7 is 22.
22. You're definitely of higher elevation than sea level. You have no idea why there might be any sort of lighthouse here in this part of the land. Something you could ask, but offhand, you have no idea.
Thank you.
Rybo, for Jackie's just wondering, what are the Bloodstocks again? Did you touch on this before or no?
Y'all have never visited them? All that you've heard so far, really, from Elijah is that they're not a good place to be. But so was the Black Forest, and this whole area seems to not be a good place to be. So you kind of just left it at that. You could ask more about them.
Yeah, I'll poke. You know, blood really piques my interest, maybe?
For your magic.
No. I mean, I would ask about it since we are on a journey and try to make small talk about it.
Yeah. So you're going to try and ask Elijah specifically?
Yeah, Elijah, and I'll kind of just like speed up to catch up next to or
Yeah.
a little bit behind. Bloodstocks? What are those?
I've seen horrible, horrible creatures come out of there. Ghouls and Varghasts and great beasts of the night come from them. They call it that because the trees seem to bleed more than they do give off any sort of sap. I tried to cut a tree down from there once for a fire, and it gushed like it came from a river. That land is cursed.
Oh, or how long?
At least since I've come, I've heard stories of the stocks for a long while. Probably years, but the last time I came by them and when I cut the tree, it was some months ago.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll take your word for it. Is it actually blood? Has anyone tested it?
I didn't stop and find out, but it flowed just like it, and it was as red as an apple.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. And I just like awkwardly slow down my pace so I back away from Elijah.
As you're walking back by, because Elijah still walks near Winter since you are buddies, which basically means Ordell, Winter, Elijah, and Sasha walk together because Winter's in a baby Bjorn. Elijah looks up to the two of you and says, "Your elf friend has a very different definition of cool from what I would call cool."
You know, each to their own.
We like strange things. Strange is cool.
Some
Okay.
people might think that it's odd that you like to burn literally everything, but
Don't like to burn. It's just what I have to do. But fire is pretty cool, I'll give you that.
I mean, pretty much the first thing you did when I met you was burn me, so
I didn't burn you. That was the clerics. They did that.
oh well, you know.
Winter, I am carrying you right now, and I know for a fact I have watched you burn many people as well. So
You
don't think you're just getting out of that.
That's right. You blew up the house as we left, didn't you?
I'm just saying that from other people's perspectives, that might be considered a little weird.
Tell me you didn't think that was cool what you did.
Oh no, I enjoy it. But I also get how bleeding trees might also be considered pretty cool.
I think there's a line somewhere between fire, burning things, and bleeding trees, where truly cool stops and continues. But I don't think we found it here.
Elijah,
As
look
it-
me in the
as-
eyes and tell me that Bleeding Trees does not sound like an awesome band name. That's what I thought.
Like a band
Ordell,
of
we
As
should
it's
start a
happening-
band.
XC.
As it's happening, XE just walks past when the mention of the word cool comes up, and without skipping a beat, goes, "Everything up here is cool," and then keeps walking.
XC, like with snow falling off his shoulders because he has no warmth within him to like make it fall off. Everything up here is cool. As falls off like a building freshly pulled of snow off its roof. The group continues for a while, going along the Bloodstocks, which some people agree or disagree as a cool band name versus Flaming Houses, whatever you want to call it, the Cult of Flames. Both cool to different people, understood. As for some reason, though Elijah is hesitant around the Bloodstocks, he never suggests you go to the forest to the north of the Bloodstocks. You stay quite close to the trees, and it's going to take you about a day's travel just to get through them. That night, as you're by the trees, is a very uneasy night for the paladins. Even if some of you volunteer, most of them stay awake through it and have their own watch. Elijah seems to think that everyone needs to have pretty much half of the entire group awake. As you sleep through that night, it's kind of an uneasy night, but you get up ready to move on the rest day. Elijah, okay, this whole day, we're going to be near the trees. Do not touch one. Do not cut one. If we need firewood, we'll get it on the other side of the stalks. It's going to be cold, but it's just one day. If you need to, light your torch, light your swords, but do not touch the trees, okay?
This is probably when Emma would lean over to Asher and say, "You want to cut one, don't you?"
Yes, I do. But it's only because when someone tells me I can't do something, I want to do it. It has nothing to do with
You
the
can't
blood
do it.
or
You
the
can't do it.
stocks.
You can't do it. I bet you won't do it.
Bet I will.
I guarantee you won't.
I start to take my blood dagger out, and I'd like do one step, and I come back, and I do two steps, and I come back. I just like slowly get closer and closer, and like Emma, like, and I just
Emma
twirl
just
it in
gives
my
you a
hand.
look like you won't do it.
It's just like you can tell there's an internal struggle whether or not she's gonna want to cut the trees.
You're all at the base of the Bloodstocks. There are a few of these trees as described. Hardly any of them have leaves upon them, but instead are covered, almost draped over, by very dark red vines, like willow trees near a swamp.
Hey, Emma, these just look hauntingly beautiful. I mean, don't
Told
you?
you wouldn't cut them.
Just imagine like a date here with like some fog, but it's not like deadly, and then you have like some tea, some warm tea. You know,
You're
and a
stalling.
picnic. I'm getting closer. I'm like getting closer. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, Emma. And I put the dagger away and I take, oh, but the dagger, rapier. I like, no, but rapier, I get some distance. Okay, I'm gonna get the rapier out. Okay, then get the rapier out. Get, like, does Elijah see?
Everyone
How
is
close?
currently packing up and getting ready. There's no one actively watching you all. Elijah just finished his nobody touched the tree speech as he starts packing his pack and rolling up his bedroll for the day. Do you stab into the tree?
Well, we'll be walking along the Bloodstocks all day, right?
So
Or
you're
no?
wanting to do it at some point during the day rather than at the base camp?
Yeah, when we're walking and I'm just the last person in the group for some reason, and then I can do it when no one is looking.
Ashrin,
Except for
as
Emma will be watching.
many people throughout this have to say, hold on, I'm going to step off to go to the bathroom real quick. There's obviously like, hey, whoa, make sure you take a buddy. Emma quickly, oh, I'll help her. Before Ashrin, you and Emma at one point, while the group continues walking ahead, are alone near a set of trees here. You will have to jog to catch back up to the group, but whenever somebody has to stop for a quick break, the group does slow down just a little bit. So you will be able to catch up to them, but as far as they know, you're off to make a quick little squatty potty before heading back to the group.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right?
I mean, he did say creatures of the night come from here as well.
But it is daytime.
He never said if they come in the nighttime or daytime.
But he said they are creatures of the night, therefore, why would they be out during the day?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I just like this whole time, I'm just like twirling the rapier, and I just get it like really
I'll-
close to like a
Let's see,
vine.
just one little stab. That's all you need.
Paper cut, just a paper cut.
That simple.
Is that her deciding she cuts the vine?
Yep. It was DC 15 or up, and she's gonna give the dumb vine a paper cut.
Do you pick it up with one hand or just take your rapier and kind of quickly do a little slice on the side of the vine?
A little slice.
As you do so, you're, of course, familiar with trees and sap. If you cut them, it takes a while for the sap to come out, right? It's thick stuff. Thick with 3 C's. This, however, as you cut the edge of the vine, you pull your rapier back quickly and you see a red stain along the edge of the blade and begin to see small little droplets dropping into the dirt below.
Can I like smell it and see if it smells like sap?
It smells iron-y.
Whoa.
Mm,
Wait.
but
I'm gonna have you smell this, but I realize you don't have any nostrils.
no, I don't. But Ruckus, here. I'm just gonna hold up Ruckus.
Ruckus, what does this smell like?
I don't have nostrils, but I can quickly, a shadow appears in the face of one of those glasses that has the like giant nose and big mustache. Stage prop comedy, because Ruckus is apparently very much a part of the stage and the cinema. As Ruckus, you see the nostrils move as it holds the glasses. Whew. That's iron. That's iron. Did your blade rust that quickly? She can't hear what Ruckus is saying.
Yeah,
but
it's just.
Right? Yes, no.
Yes, Ruckus says your blade has rusted.
this is perfect for her magic.
Oh, Ruckus says this would be great for your type of magic.
So it does smell like blood. I'm gonna
Blood magic.
I'm gonna look for a leaf. I am ignoring what Emma says. I look for like a big leaf I can use to like clean my blade off.
I knew it.
Ruckus climbs up to your shoulder and gets right near where the ear canal on your skull would be, Emma, and says, I'm so proud of you for figuring that out on your own. That's such a good, wow. You did it.
I'm gonna grab
believed in you.
Ruckus and just put him back in the hip area. I've had enough of people giving me a hard time. But yes, try it. You should try it with what you do with your dagger and things. See if it works. Do it.
All right. I know
Give it
my
a try.
magic is a joke to you, but there are some boundaries.
I don't think it's a joke. I think it's
Anyway.
rather nifty that you use blood with magic.
It's,
I use death with magic. It's
pick up 2 leaves and I'm ignoring. I'm trying to clean my rapier. Are there leaves here? Anything?
There
I can
are no
clean?
leaves on these trees. You can pick up a vine and clean it off if you'd like.
A dead vine or
A vine off a tree and maybe wipe it if you'd like. If you're looking for some forestry to be able to do that, or you could use a cloth.
no? I look at Emma. I fall back a little bit. I get the scarf that she gave me, and I use the scarf.
trust me, there hasn't been much worse on that.
I clean it. Does it come off?
Yeah, it wipes right off.
Okay. All right.
Emma looks over at the scarf and uses prestidigitation to clean off whatever just went on the scarf. But I always clean it.
And you could have just done that from the beginning.
You
Okay.
didn't ask.
Thanks. By the way, can you do that to me too? I'm a little bit cold.
Asher, and it feels like somebody turned on a heating blanket right around your breastplate before you. Kind of feels warm again. Are you all returning to the group?
Yep.
See, that
And-
wasn't too bad. They told you not to do it. I told you to do it. You did it, and nothing happened.
I run up to Winter.
Before you do, just to double check, you wiped the blood on the scarf outfit, correct?
The scarf that Emma gave me that
Yeah,
I was using.
that was clothes, but you turned into a scarf.
Uh-huh.
You still wearing that on your person?
I'd
Oh,
probably
no.
be
Emma prestidigitated that off of the scarf.
Okay, just double checking.
Yeah, and you know what? Ashrin, no matter how cold it is, might be a little disgusted at what she's saying about how there are worse things have been on that scarf. And she might not wear it for just a little bit. She's not that desperate yet.
Folds it up, puts it at the top of your bed sack, and think about that for later. Before, yes, you return to Emma.
I'm sure Raucus would like that. Raucus, are you cold down there?
Yes. I wouldn't
Tough,
have
get
to.
over it. Now, let's continue.
I run to Winter and I just tell her, it's like, Winter, it's actually blood. Sorry, I know. Oh, shit, did I interrupt? Fuck, sorry.
I turn around because Winter is on my back.
It's so strange that I felt a tingle up my back like someone was doing something very stupid. You
Wait.
did not pierce the trees.
Elijah rolled a nat 2 for his perception. However, Sasha rolled a nat 20.
Uh-oh.
Brilliant. Ordell also makes no means to quiet like this down. Like he's like,
You are joking right now. You did not do that.
I actually
how
agree with
could
him for the
you?
first time. What?
Ashrin, remember, we can speak in your head.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
But if I
can't do it.
Also, pausing that, Emma, you just said, Ashrin, I can't believe you do that. So I'm going to ask you, Ashrin, did Emma antagonize you into piercing a branch?
Emma's in the ring. She said I couldn't do it, so I wanted to prove her wrong.
See, exactly. I told
Oh,
she wouldn't do it. Because
Or
she
Dad.
couldn't do it because she was told not to do it.
Is that all that it takes just to tell you not to do something? Could you
it really does.
maybe
yeah, I
not
can.
just keep your hands to yourself? That would be great.
Some
Sasha,
people.
oh, after
Yeah.
you Winter.
Some people have, like weaknesses to different things. Like, don't dare Ashrin to do something because she's a straight up bad bitch and she will do it.
I can agree she is a bad bitch.
Hmm. Really, this is Emma's fault.
What?
I'm all right, all of you, we're stopping. First off, if something comes of that bleeding tree, we are dealing with it together and suffering those consequences together.
So
Meaning the next decision we all make is as a whole. So if you decide to pierce a tree or do something that dangers, you are deciding for all of us that you would like us in danger. Is that clear, both Emma and Ashrin?
Yes, I just came back from taking a wee, and
Your
as I said
flies-
before, don't pierce a tree. You haven't done that, have you?
Elijah, but
I would say it was more of a paper cut, if anything, very small.
There is no evidence or proof. I don't check my rapier.
What
There's
you have
nothing.
literally you have already admitted
It's
like
all I
3
asked.
times.
Was you not do that?
joke. It's a joke too.
Ashrin, we've
Look,
already.
I have 3 legs. See, I can say things all I want. Doesn't mean it's true.
To be fair, she didn't say she cut the tree. She just said that they bleed, which is just probably taking.
Bleed. That's what we have.
Emma
heard.
said it was a paper cut.
That was
Yes.
already on the tree. Just saw it.
Really?
Emma, go ahead and roll me a deception at disadvantage.
I take my rapier out and I just flip wagon in front of them. Like, see, there's nothing on it. There's no evidence that it ever happened.
Or
Not at
Nell's
disadvantage
insight.
because Ashrin did have it cleaned.
Oh, okay. 16.
23 insight from Ordell.
Ordell.
Odell's just like, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Elijah's like, good. I really was worried there before Sasha kind of hits him in the chest. Are you? They told you they did it. They told us all that. Are you? Elijah, come on. Do not fall for that. Before Elijah's like, he's. There.
If
You really
I
did.
may.
You put a blood elf next to trees that bleed. What did you expect?
All of us,
Everyone grab your gear. We're heading off now. Don't care how cold you get. No fires. We're running.
all of you run ahead. We will stay back, because if something emerges from that, we will be the front line from it, because 2 of us decided to put us in danger.
You're what we're protecting. You're not going to be the front lines. Let's all just get a move on.
Fine.
Let's go. For Elijah quickly begins to jog through this very thin layer of snow that is here at the edge of the Bloodstocks. Because of that, Elijah is keeping everybody at a quick pace through the cold. Ashrin, Ritter, and the Paladins are actually going to be at 1 level of exhaustion. Winter, if you stay in the Baby Bjorn, you're fine.
I'm staying here with Daddy Ordell.
Would Ashrin still get that if Emma was consistently doing the prestidigitation?
Being that you're moving at such a quick speed now and kind of at a constant jog, it wouldn't be something that you'd be able to focus and keep up.
That's fair.
So everyone begins, for lack of a better term, hauling it in a way that makes it so you can keep up this pace throughout the day, but it's a rough trek going through very thin layers of snow. There's several times. Actually, let's not just say there's several times. Everybody roll me a dexterity save.
Wait, do I have to?
Winter, no,
Well-
but your result depends on Ordell's.
Yep, which is I only have 2 inspo. Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? Because Winter's with me, that's a 4 total. So I'm gonna use an inspo. So I'm down back to 1. Not much better. 10 total.
Okay. Ashrin,
23.
solid dex elf. Emma,
13.
XC.
18.
You're all able to keep your footing, though a few of the paladins do slip on the snowy and icy rock as you move through this area pretty quickly. In doing so, it kind of jams up some of their arms and fingers, so they do take a bit of damage from this, and are past exhaustion, also just straight at disadvantage for all dexterity related maneuvers, since they fell into the snow and the ice. Everyone's going at a quick pace here. They can maybe warm themselves up, but Elijah says no fires. About halfway through this day, maybe about what you would only assume to be 1 or 2 o'clock or so, you've noticed that a lot of those roiling clouds that you saw before are very thick and heavy from above you. XC and Ritter notice that the clouds seem to actually be originating from a southern point from you, from somewhere either below or within the Bloodstocks that are nearby, emanating outwards in all directions. It's not necessarily that there's some activity here that's causing them to be thicker. It's just this is the origination point, and they thin out the further they go. At least the origination point is somewhere around here and a little further to the south. As you're all going along, being that you're running, is everybody, you're making sure that you're not slipping. Is there anybody who's specifically watching the Bloodstocks, or is there anybody who's specifically watching the North Forest from where you're at? Everybody may be watching the stocks.
I would realistically have Raucus up on my shoulder while running, looking behind me.
Okay.
You're not in the ring at the moment, right?
No.
Ashrin would probably feel bad and look behind her shoulder to see if anything's coming from the Bloodstocks.
Okay.
Ordell's
Emma and
looking
Ashrin
north.
behind. Ordell north. Winter.
Which way does the baby Bjorn face? Is it like
It's
am I
behind, so
facing-
you would be looking to where Ashrin and Emma are unless you're actively trying not to.
Do I sit like am I like clinging to your back, Ordell, like a
the-
piggyback style, or am I looking behind?
Kind of piggy. So the way
I
Ordell
thought it was
designed it
looking
and I mapped it out. No, it's over my shoulder. So it's like a sled thing with two like upper areas so Ordell can like hang things, and then also it's like a back area so Winter like goes in it and it's basically a kind of piggyback style, but she's laying like basically standing straight up.
Gotcha. I was thinking almost like a chair where you're aimed backwards. This is more hilarious. I love it.
Also, if it was a chair, that's way more dangerous if I fall. Because she would snap. For this, it's at least she has some leeway in case, because the thing is to sandwich her, so if Ordell falls, she can crawl out.
Unless you fall on your back.
Fair.
In that case, I guess I'm looking ahead.
XC.
If I had a focus point, I'm going to keep an eye on those clouds.
Okay. Looking upwards. So, everybody roll me a perception check.
Dun, 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 dun. Blah.
Hot, hot, hot. 23.
17.
17, 23,
23.
23.
We're both looking back at the stocks. Very,
Very like,
Seven.
this is our fault. This is our fault.
Also 7. Hey.
Hey, look at
7.
you.
23, 23, 7, 7.
So-
I will say the reason Ordell is distracted, his perception's lower. He turns to Winter because Winter said that in character.
By the way, we need to address this or dad thing at some point. I am making sure you are all safe and taken care of. I am no one's father.
The opposite of Darth Vader's speech. As
Or dad.
Winter, I am not your father. Yeah, but it's like it's like it's friendly. It's a friendly thing, you know. I know you aren't physically my dad. I have a dad. He's great, but you know how some people call the group mom. They call him mom. You know.
Fair, but also wait. We need to you have a dad, yes, but wait. Does your dad know that you're out here?
How
Oh
about
my God, Winter.
those blood trees?
as Emma, Ashrin, and most of the paladins are looking behind as Elijah has put a heavy fear of what must be coming after them as a result of the cut in the stalks. XC, you are focused heavily on the clouds above, scared that something may come through them, or more just watching to see what's happening and why they are this way. Winter and Ordell, being that you're up at the front with Elijah and Sasha, it's kind of expected that you're watching where you're going, but you're pretty deep in conversation as you're going along here. You're on the edge of these trees. Every now and again, a few trees pop out from around where you're at. But as you're running, Ordell, you run into something or someone, moreover, as you trip onto a young man, maybe about 18 or so, and collapse with you, Winter, and this young half-elven man covered in scrapes, bruises, and torn rags as he what? Stop chasing me before run offward in the same direction that you were all headed towards Cavity, running away from you as fast as possible. As it is 7:54, it's a good place for a break. We'll come back at 8:01 and continue right where we left off. Make sure you enter that giveaway. That will be at the end of the night, but still, make sure you enter it anyway. And we will see you all very soon. Bye. Welcome back from your break, everybody. Jackie is out here trolling for some inspo. She brought her dog food bowl in just to get her dog on camera. I'm certain that's what it's for, though she hasn't mentioned it. So, inspo for Jackie if the dog ever comes on camera, but right now, can't see it, so you're going to have to try a little harder. But Jackie will be back soon, which I guess he really does need to show up because last thing that happened is Winter and Jakey running into a young half-elven man, as not only does that startle Ordell and Winter, who suddenly fall to the ground in the snow, the young man gets up and tries to start running away. Elijah and Sasha are nearby, but with the screams from the young man, nobody's too far from each other. The whole group can turn around and see this tattered and cut up young half-elven man who runs offwards and away from you all.
Why are you running? We're not chasing you. What are you doing?
He
In his brain.
Oh, are you messaging him?
Mhm.
Okay. Let me double check. Oh no, we already established message isn't willing or unwilling. You just do it. As you message into his brain then. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a persuasion. Verity rocks for the summaries.
Mhm.
This is good. 17 plus 6. So more than 17.
Solid. As a 20 is what you would have needed to get him to believe you. As this young half-elven man runs, as he stops and turns towards you, he kind of puts his hands on his head. He says, "What are you doing in my head?"
It's okay. If you stop and come back, then I can just talk to you with my voice.
I recognize that symbol. He kind of yells aloud. You paladins of the flame.
Oh, shh. Some of them are, but not all of us.
What are you doing near the stocks?
They're just passing through.
Nobody just passes through the Bloodstocks. What are you doing here?
Is he replying in his mind or out loud?
Very much out loud. Everyone else can hear his replies, just not what Winter is saying. But Winter's very obvious about the message, unless you tell me otherwise.
No, I am. We just have to pass through. We're running currently, just like you.
To where from where? Nobody goes through the Bloodstocks.
Well, why are you here? Also, if you like, you can reply to me in my head, and then if you're worried about the paladins, they can't hear you.
No. I won't dabble in mind magics anymore. I must return to Capti.
Mind magics.
Oh, do you want some help? I'll just say that without because it seems to be freaking him out.
Alex gets his inspo. Cute little baby. Ooh, cute little baby.
Little Valentino.
So cute.
Do you need help getting through here?
What help can you offer me? Not against what lies in the forest.
I mean, at the very least, you could run with us, and then whatever lies in the forest will have less of a chance of getting you because there'll be other us's to get first.
You can roll another persuasion at that. At this point, you and Ordell have gotten up and stand on your own again. Winter, you did fall out of the Bjorn at this point, so it's kind of cold.
A 15.
15. Okay. If you're truly paladins of the flame, show me your flaming swords.
Well, I'm not. I don't have one. Hey, Elijah!
He kind of looks at you and kind of stares in your eyes as, sure, you want me to do that?
Mm-hmm.
He holds his sword aloft, almost in triumph, before you begin to see flame crawl up one edge and go all the way around it before he says, "Your boy, is your flaming sword? We are truly paladins of the flame."
See?
This is not another trick of my eyes.
As Emma's gonna hold up her hand with a silent image sword with flame. Aha! But
Do
it's
you
gonna
do
be
so?
green.
Just
flame.
ignore her. She's
What is this green magic that you make? I've only seen paladins of the flame she cast in red.
I'm a cleric.
a liar.
Then he kind of takes a step back and stumbles a bit in the snow. Then I will consider you all in the company of liars, and I will not trust you.
Oh,
See-
don't worry about Emma. She's just a bit strange. But you
Oh.
can trust us. I probably, yeah,
At that,
50-50 with what she says, honestly.
you would have had advantage with Elijah, but that is canceled out with Emma's tricks of the green flame. So roll one more persuasion.
That's going to be another 17 plus 6.
Solid
23.
numbers.
I'm very persuasive.
I will approach now. I'll have you know I am armed. He holds his hand behind his back as if to hold something into his belt.
Is he armed, though?
Can we confirm that he has 2 arms?
He does have 2 arms, and you have 1 GFY. Ordell and Winter, since you were the ones who ran into him and saw him, roll me a quick history check to see if you remembered seeing a weapon on him.
No. That's a
Ordell
5.
face
22.
was full of snow. Winter, however, you rolled off of Ordell and didn't get much snow in the face. And as such, you didn't see any weapon tucked into the back of his pants.
You can hold your weapon if it makes you feel better.
But in case you need an extra one.
Ordell's just going to take a dagger. Ordell doesn't know if he has one or not, but I have a couple daggers, so I'll give him... Actually, no, I'm going to give him one of my hand axes.
Do not
And I'm
approach
going to
me.
hold it like... I'm holding the metal end and like the... And he can take the hilt.
But
He kind of-
but please don't axe me with that.
He sidesteps up towards the hand axe, and he kind of grasps it from you and holds it weakly with both hands quickly. He says, all the better. I seem to have misplaced my dagger. If you're truly
Do you
paladins
need-
of the flame, then we have the same destination. Are you headed to Cavity?
Yes.
Please. As you said, I would like an escort. I've been in the stocks for far too long and seen too much. We're not far a few days. Please don't let me sleep out here alone at night again.
No, you can travel with us. We were just running though, so we might want to keep doing that. I'm not really sure what we're running from, but everyone seemed to think it was very urgent.
Well, if there are more out there, did something follow you from the stocks?
One of the trees was bleeding.
We should run then. Yes, you had a good idea in the beginning.
Okay. I'm gonna get back into this very cozy compartment that I have. But if you want to run ahead and hold the axe, then we'll be right behind you. But just to let you know, we definitely aren't chasing you.
I think I would like to be in the middle of the group, if that is all right. I have
Oh,
no
yeah.
combat skills of which to call my own.
That's fine, right, Elijah? We can.
You can be my buddy.
Of course, if you're to head to Cavity, we'll protect you. Come, fall in ranks, but we expect you to keep up, as Elijah stows his sword and the flame disappears in the scabbard. Emma, you walk up and offer, you can be my buddy, holding your hand out.
I'm gonna shake my head at the owl, like.
I did not know the paladins kept the company of necromancers now.
I'm not a necromancer.
I didn't think so. Winter waves while hopping on the back of her giant undead friend. Hi, it's me.
I guess I have no buddy anymore.
Emma says nothing as the
Emma just like looks. XC, I'll be your buddy, but I want to be the buddy to the. Can we have 3 buddies?
Negative.
Well,
As
You may be their buddy. I do not need a buddy.
you need a buddy. I'll be your buddy. Sorry, new guy.
it's okay. Just please let us leave. If you saw a bleeding stock, that is a bad omen.
Yes, and I know it's very sad that I won't be your buddy, and please don't cry as I now walk away.
Okay. It's the group then continues, picks up, now taking charge of protecting this young half-elven man.
Winter takes out her notepad and writes Emma and the new guy? Question mark.
We ship everyone on this channel. XC, we're gonna find you a nice, good single washer and dryer sometime.
Is that what you think I'm worth? A washer and dryer?
A washer and
And
dryer,
a
not just
fridge.
one.
No, we're looking for 14
2 in
people for
1.
XE. Let's go.
Couple of
Gotta
dwarves.
get a toaster in there as well.
You're almost, let's see, there's 7 paladins, there are 6 of you, and now this one other person. That is technically 14 people.
Oh, this is perfect.
But there's
timing.
no dwarves, right? Are there dwarves?
There are no dwarves here.
2 dwarves.
Okay,
So
well,
close.
Keep an eye out for the dwarves. As you all begin rushing along the edge of the Bloodstocks, everyone keeping an eye out, both behind and before you, yet again as you run. Give me one more perception roll from everybody.
Hey!
13.
13.
Much better.
21.
21.
Natural
Oh.
20. It won't focus.
11. I
Perfect.
decided to just get all the good rolls out with the new guy.
Yeah, of course. As you're all
20 total.
continuing to trudge along, you're fairly certain that you've been left in peace here at the edge of the Bloodstocks. There's a few times where you hear something that sounds like an animal, but nothing that sounds out of place within a forest. You hear the sounds of a wolf, every now and again the sounds of crows and owls coming further from the south, but you also hear them further distant in the forest to the north. Elijah lets you know that it's probably 2 more days before you're going to make it to Cavity, and eventually at the end of this run you reach the edge of the Bloodstocks and are able to stop for the night. Everyone is spent and exhausted. Those of you who were cold have your point of exhaustion. It has been a rough day, but you make it through without incident, though you don't know if you made it through without being noticed on the edge of the stalks.
CXC, I told you. We're all right. Nothing happened. We just ran and we ran.
Do you not remember running into the gentleman? That is something that happened.
I consider that to be a blessing, but since you're buddies with him and all 3 of you are together,
Oh, he is with us. Beautiful day.
Didn't XC say he wasn't going to be his buddy?
well, Emma is. So
Emma
Emma's near him.
has like forcibly like pulled this guy with XC and herself. She's like, I'm sorry, XC. We have to
Hold
have
on,
3
hold on.
buddies.
Are you pulling him over to us, are you?
Yep.
All right, I reach down and pull out a ring and go, then I believe this is yours. And I
Don't you
hand
do
over
it.
to the guy.
Don't you do Don't you. And Emma's going to slap his hand before he touches it.
It falls
XC,
into the thin
no.
layer of snow. What? I was offered. I didn't mean to offend.
Shh. XC. We have something going on. It's very special. We are buddies. You and I, we are buddies. It's okay to have a 3rd buddy.
Negative. Everyone is divided into 2 buddies. One
Well,
buddy
if
each.
everyone's divided into 2 buddies, where does this one land? You know what I'm saying? Is
We
he
may
not?
cut you in half if required.
Please, no. Do not. No.
Shh. And Emma's gonna just pat him on the head. It's okay. No one's gonna cut you in half.
Truly.
It's not right now.
He reaches down and grabs up the handful of snow with the ring in it. I meant no offense to you, Warforged. Please take your ring back. If this is some sort of offense to... I don't know what you are. I'm looking at Emma, but please take it.
I can't hold it. Well, Exy, please. I will get on my knees and beg if I have to.
That is a biological thing to do.
What can I do to convince
I
you
pick
to
up
let
the-
us have a third buddy?
I grab the ring and then I put it into a new compartment that's part of my what you expect to be my butt cheek.
As you
If-
walk every now and again, you
And,
hear
and then I
"Ka-ting!"
walk off into science.
As
I think that's a good thing. What was your name again?
I hadn't given it, but you may call me Tregath. I'm a courier between towns, but I think I to give that life up.
It's gonna be a hard name for me to remember. I'm gonna just call you T.
That is not my name.
Wait, what is your name?
Tregath.
Yes, I'm gonna call you T.
Okay.
Okay.
As everyone sets up for the night, is there anything anybody wants to be doing, either with their own companions or over Tregath? What's the plan for the night? Continuing the same watch style as normal?
Emma's gonna
Am I still
try
buddy
her.
with Emma?
Emma's gonna try her best to just get Exy to warm up to this half elf.
I can warm him up. Fire is very useful.
You can't keep threatening his life. That's rude,
You-
Exy.
That was a threat to my life. I thought you would make me a fire.
pat on the head. TTT. It's
I
okay.
can make you fire. That is correct.
And technically,
what I
any
thought.
of us can
That's
make
what I
you fire,
wanted.
but we're not going to. Exy.
As this variable intimidation / persuasion continues back and forth to calm him down and terrify him, leaving him in a perpetual state of exactly how you found him and not calmer at all. Everyone goes about their normal business for the night. We'll continue the same watch system that we had before. Ordell.
Ordell wants to spend tonight taking like a little block of wood that he has with him and his carpenter tools, and he's gonna whittle and make something.
Okay. Currently, Trick has your hand axe. He's gonna.
I have my
keep it-
daggers though.
No, I'm saying he's gonna keep it unless you tell him otherwise.
Oh yeah, no, he can hold on to the thing. I'm just like I'm taking something that's like probably like yay big because like little like filler blocks from like when Ordell was working on stuff.
Just doing some whittling there. Perfect.
Yeah,
You can go ahead and roll a carpenter's check on that.
I'm gonna use knowledge from past life again. Hey, ooh, that's double dice encounters. That's 26 plus that's a 32.
Double dicey encounters. Wah, 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 wah.
Perfect. What exactly do you want to make out of this piece of wood?
Ordell's gonna keep a secret for now, but I will keep in mind that I did it very well. Actually, yeah. Once the watches are done, Ordell's going to take Sasha aside.
Okay. We'll say that you can make anything within a 6-inch cube then. Whittled into a shape of wood, not like I made a hand crossbow, but you know what I mean. Right.
Right.
So yeah, go ahead.
May I speak with you?
Yes. Is it about the half elf?
No. That is a much longer conversation that I don't think any of us have the time for.
What then?
Ordell's gonna take like a small little bit of burlap and put it in her hand.
What is this?
I made you this.
I'm assuming there's something in it.
Yeah, when she
little
opens
thing.
it, it is like a little belt cover thing, like for like either it could be like fit onto a pommel of a sheath of a sword or onto a belt, and the front is like a detailed. It looks like a flame that is emerging into a blade, and at the end of the blade is basically someone turning into ash, but it looks like they are being like freed, almost like someone in prayer who is being almost Thanos styled. But on the back, when she looks at it, Ordell like walks away after she takes it and does this gesture to flip it. There is a very detailed design of like a unicorn that is like it is standing like on like a cliffside, mirroring the other image as if the flames became like from the main. So that she could have like a little secret belt thing and then have a unicorn on her person.
Let me clarify, as this sounds like a whole mural on like a 6-inch or less belt cover, correct?
On like a little belt thing, like it's basically what Ordell's doing is ball of fire, person, and then unicorn, and then the main turning into fire. So like that's it simplified. Ordell made it sound like Ice made it sound more intricate, but this is more so just like simple imagery. And then probably Ordell would have like stained the red like probably like a reddish like color.
As you go to walk away, she takes a look at it before you feel yourself immediately grabbed by the shoulder and spun around. What the hell is this?
I made it so that you may wear it if you wish. You told me the things that you like and that keep you joy. This place does not, and we do not.
She hands it back to you and says, I don't know what your game is here, but keep your gift.
I have no games.
Roll a persuasion.
Okay. Not bad. My persuasion's not great.
Ordell has no game.
14 total. You know what? Because it's almost into the day, I'll use the knowledge from past life. That brings it up to a 16.
Okay. So you say I have no games. Do you leave it at that, or were you adding more?
That's a good question.
I do not play games. I don't think of mind activities or these childish things, lies people say. I'm a matter-of-fact person. That is why I came to you and asked you questions, because I know you do not like us, and some of us do not like you. You don't have to like us, but if I can make your time out here easier and give you something that reminds you of home, your life before this, then I insist you take it. And if you wish to refuse it, then I will toss it in the fire, and that will be that. So I'm going to leave it on this stump here, and I'm going to walk away. I don't care if you wear it or not.
As you go to walk back to your sleeping bag or bedroll, you hear her immediately, as you walk, almost without hesitation, move up to the stump and grab it. And it would be a waste to leave it in the fire, before turning away, not allowing you to see her face, but she does pick up the gift. As people are going to sleep for the night with a similar watch style to before, Winter and Ordell kind of just staying there at the camp, Ashrin and Ritter going about, Emma and XC at one point, probably Sans Tregath, but at one point going to survey around the camp. Give me perception rolls for everyone except Ordell and Winter.
22.
8? No,
That's a nut one, so that's 8.
22 and
Wow.
8. Swap from last time. And what was yours, Ashrin?
9?
9. Solid.
Sorry, it's just XC's now the angry one. And it must have focused.
XC's like, I told you I didn't need a buddy. And just like kicking into the dirt as you walk along. As
Grinding his gears.
Ashrin, you and Ritter, as you've talked and kind of shared and opened up with each other more, you're beginning to develop a friendship with him as you go along, and he more on the like, okay, if I'm going to teach you the song, you have to actually try and sing it as you go along. You're very distracted from actual watch, but enjoying the time being able to just talk with somebody throughout the night. Emma and XC, as you go about your watch, XC, you are very, whether you would say it or not, at least kind of upset that Emma was so greedily able to say, oh, I'll be your buddy, and didn't think immediately about not being your buddy.
The numbers just don't compute.
Doesn't make sense. Who wouldn't want a sniper as their buddy? As Emma, you're walking with XC back, so you're like, no, look, it's not anything personal. Emma, you see something that shocks you. as you're walking back to the camp, you see by the firelight Trakoth sleeping soundly. However, you see Ordell's bedroll has fallen off him, and you see Sasha readjust it back over to keep him warm at night, while everyone else is asleep. Before Sasha returns and goes to sleep.
Wait, he's not all antsy anymore. He's sleeping. Right, but you have to remember, Emma is kind of smart. Drew, not so smart.
As
Boil
Ordell's
it.
What is
All
the
right?
shocking
Boil
part
it.
of this?
as Ordell is kind of in almost powered down, just head down mode with his bedroll over him to keep warm. It's fallen off and he just hasn't noticed it yet. Sasha kind of comes up to recover him. Yeah.
Shocking. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Sasha was putting it on the new guy, and
She was
like,
strangling Trakoth. Was that not clear?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a dum-dum. Okay. Huh. And then I look back at Exy and I'm like, look, it's nothing against you. I actually enjoy you as a buddy. It's just, I think it's a new person, and honestly, I really want his body in case he dies. That way I can keep his skeleton, if we're being honest here, Exy.
The problem is I do not trust this new person.
Well, that works out even better. What's the saying? You keep your enemies closer, right? Or something like that.
I gotta pull out my full gun. Have you seen this weapon? Keeping someone close is not beneficial for me. And then I put it back. Oh, actually, I've got it here.
Oh no. Well, fair statement. But I still want to be your buddy, XC, and I hope I didn't hurt your... Oh, this is gonna sound rude. Do you have feelings?
Negative.
Oh, well then there's nothing I hurt. Then everything's alright, and just know I still want to be your buddy. But I also want his skeleton just in case he dies.
How about you become a secret buddy, and you can stand with him, but secretly be my buddy, and I will stand away.
I love it. That sounds like a really good idea. That's actually really smart.
I only have
Because
good
I can
ideas.
still because I can still see through you. This is brilliant. XC, you're smarter than any of us.
We do need to consult and finish the idea of fashioning your ring into a bullet.
I have to talk to my deity one more time. I kind of goofed on a message they had sent me, and well, let's just say I need to make sure that they think it's a good idea before the
I have
patron
come up with a design that maintains it being a ring, but then can also be modified into a bullet when required.
Tell me more.
And then XC pulls out a little bit of metal that's been sketched on, and there's this ring, and then it's quite a bit thicker than usual, but when moved, there's two internal rings that then swivel out into locking positions so that it becomes a sphere of 3 rings.
So kind of like this, and Emma's going to use silent image to create like a larger version of what XC has drawn out. So kind of like this, where it would turn, and but where would the emerald fit?
The emerald would be facing outwards as a ring, and then swivel inwards to be the center, maintaining a equilateral weight distribution so that this may fly true.
And then that way it protects the emerald from being destroyed.
Correct.
Hold on to that idea. I actually like that idea. I don't like the idea of it being a bullet, but I like the idea of what you've done to make it into a bullet. I do need to check with my deity. I just need at least, hopefully, only 2 more days, maybe 3.
Why do
But
you
I
not
do
check
want it.
now?
Good idea. And Emma's just gonna sit and
You're-
start drawing in the snow, start drawing the designs, and like, come on.
You're barely outside the light of the fire as you just, good idea. bump into the snow and begin drawing. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a percentile.
Focus. 40.
40.
Right.
Alex,
I'm-
what are you
No,
gonna do to
unfortunately-
fuck with Emma?
Unfortunately, Emma didn't contact the clerical deity Rabbi, did they? No. Never mind. I take notice of exactly how Emma did it, and then when I guess you tell us if it does work or not, I'll continue from.
Okay. Emma begins scrawling runes into the dirt and begins praying into them. The snow, as Emma runs her bony fingers along, seems to almost melt as she does so by magical inclination into the ground. Emma bows downwards before seeming to look upwards into the clouds, much like you normally do, almost awaiting a response. But Emma, once again, you've been snuffed by your god, as you must have done something to upset them.
I know exactly what I didn't do. XC, I need to kill something to summon my deity.
We have the new person here, and that way you can get your skeleton correct.
It's actually not a bad idea. But I don't think we should murder that. I prefer things like insects and that don't really...
You prefer insects killing a human?
No, I prefer to kill insects to contact my deity.
Do you have any insects?
Oh, well, being that it's snowing, no, I don't actually see any around. But perchance
There
when
are
we
not
get
many
to...
round insects, but if you dig, you may find insects hiding underneath the dirt.
This is very true, XC. But possibly it might even take until we get to Cavity, until where they said the flames don't let the snow touch the ground.
That is a lot of digging time.
No,
I reckon we could find one in the next 10 minutes, and I begin digging.
XC's hands immediately form like a perfect cup-like shovel as he uses one arm to help move the other one. And much like a little trench, it doesn't really do like a person would where you dig back and forth. It's literally like a trenching tool that takes out some dirt, throws it off to the side.
You look through the dirt to see if there is any insects.
Sure, I will look. I'm looking for grubs and things of that nature that would be in the ground.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check for both of you. See if Bear Grylls would be proud.
13
16.
plus 7 is a 20. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Well, Emma, somebody's going to have to drink their own pee because they didn't find anything. However, XC, as you're digging through the ground, you see Emma searching through the dirt like, I can't find anything. Before XC, you're like, it's better if you look in large quantities and just kind of sift it through your... Oh, as you look inside, there seems to be a small beetle that had burrowed its way down into the ground. A small horned beetle.
Here you go.
I guess I've never tried to contact twice in one night, but I guess might as well.
What's the worst that could happen?
I'll allow a second attempt since you're going to sacrifice something.
All right. I hold the beetle in between my fingers and squish. 82.
Ooh. You're trying to contact your clerical deity, correct?
Correct. I don't want to talk to my page.
You hold your head down and squish the beetle in your fingers as it tries to wriggle free before life exits its body, and you find yourself coated in the blood and guts of a small beetle, maybe about the size of a thumb, but hear nothing from your god.
It didn't work, see.
Maybe you need a bigger sacrifice.
Here's this. Keep an eye out over the next couple days for maybe a bird or a squirrel or I don't know, something bigger than insect.
Understood.
Just not the new guy. We should at least let him live for a little bit.
Are you sure?
Until he
is quite
proves
big.
otherwise. And then if he proves otherwise, then we can absolutely use him as a sacrifice to my deity so we can figure out if I need to turn this ring into a bullet. I think that's a rather good use of a human life or half-elf life, I guess. See where I'm getting at?
Maybe it is better to contact the deity and ask if it should be used as a bullet, because that means I can construct the mechanism now and not have to wait till after we get permission to use it. It gives us a more flexible timeline.
If you want to go ahead and work on the mechanism, but don't alter the ring quite yet. Actually, you know what? Yes. Go ahead, form it out, but don't shoot it. I don't know how
Affirmative.
this is going to work. I hope I can go back in my ring.
That is a very good idea.
If I don't want to talk to the patron again. You'll have to talk to her next time.
Understood.
Okay.
XC, you'll probably need a fire hotter than or to melt metal like that without just being able to shape it and form it like a ball. In order to actually get it into a ring-like shape, you probably need a fire or a forge rather than just a fire here at a campfire. So when you get to a city, you might be able to do something like that.
I mean, yes, or if we have like some fire powered with us, but that's fine.
Right. I mean, you could ask them.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that night, besides possible talk of murdering Treek, goes off without a hitch. I mean, for you all, it went off without a hitch, no matter what. But the next morning comes, and Elijah is quick to wake everyone and get them ready to move for the morning, and trying to get you all to Cavity by the next day. If we move quickly, I think we might be able to get there midday tomorrow. We ran quite quickly through the Bloodstocks, so we won't arrive there at night. We'll have the whole day to us. So let's keep on. We won't have to go at near the speed we did before. We can afford to be a bit more cautious. We'll not run into people as we go along, as he looks at Ordell and Winter. But we'll still get there. We'll all keep our heads. And we've saved someone along the way for it, so we'll be blessed by the flames. And he will move.
We're not exhausted still, are we?
No, you've had a night's rest.
Wee.
Can I keep an eye on the new guy as we move?
Yeah, if you want to keep an eye on the new guy, you'll probably be more focused on that than looking around, so you won't really participate in much perception checks.
That's fine.
Hey, Treek. We are buddies today.
Again, yes. Good.
As Emma shoots a finger gun over to Xe and then realizes, like, wait, I should have been. Okay, never mind.
Xe ignores the finger guns.
As you all get moving on for the morning, is there anybody who's specifically watching the new guy besides just Winter?
I mean, I would assume I would be.
Okay.
Being buddies.
So if you are watching him, don't participate in this, but we're going to have you roll a perception check for today and for tomorrow's trek going along, getting to Cavity. So if you're still watching out and about, go ahead and roll me a perception. If you're making sure Treek doesn't hand axe you in the middle of the night, don't participate.
I'm gonna use knowledge from a past life.
Okay.
Heck yeah. 24 total. 15 plus 5 plus my 4 bonus.
Perfect. Ashrin and XC?
9.
9. Solid. You are also moving back and forth between watching where you're going and still not entirely trusting Treek. Ashrin?
8.
8. Solid. You are practicing your humming of the new song that you've learned, trying to memorize, and it's just not happening for you. There's plenty of other people here to be on watch. Ordell, with your massive perception bonus, now that you're near Elijah and Sasha as you move along, Elijah and Sasha are kind of leading the way as you and Winter have become closer buddies and protection buddies more than Sasha and Elijah, since Winter's literally on your back. But at one point when Sasha turns to address people, saying, if we need to stop for a bit just for a rest or for anybody to use the bathroom, I think now's the time. As she turns around holding her cloak around her, you see, just briefly, the belt buckle that you made her, she is wearing. as she turns back around and faces away. Before you all continue on your treks, nothing happens that night, but as you continue through, eventually snow becomes higher. It's actually getting up to maybe about an inch deep snow at this point, and you can hear it make that sound as you continue to walk through now. And it is a much slower trek, but eventually, finally, some good sight and some good news here. The clouds still roil over everything, keeping things darker than they would be, but it allows you to see the great flames of Cavity as you approach. This city is downwards, almost built. You asked the question before, are we above or below sea level? This one is one you may question, as it is quite literally built into a cavity in the rock. So it was so named. There is a kind of bordered wall here on the front of it to keep certain things out, and a garrison, but you can see down inwards. There's a deep gash, almost as if this once was a quarry here that was converted into a town. Several braziers of flames can be seen along the entirety of this quarry as you approach, and one large flame is on the very top of the gate. This would be a beacon of hope for those who were looking for it. Perhaps in the night, it would be the only thing that might keep you going. But at the front of this garrison, you can tell it's being newly constructed. There's still parts of the wall where you could just walk right through, but there's several people building things, and you can hear the sounds of hammers and nails as you all approach closer. Elijah finally says, and we're here. We're home. We made it through the trek. This is, I've got to say, this is one of the first times we've made it with everybody, though I did get a little worried there in the Black Forest for a while. This is good news. We have much to celebrate for, much more than we already did. As he looks to Ordell, we must get you to Ignis right away. Come, we will be greeted like kings.
Oh, most of us will.
Right.
Just stay close, Emma.
We should have a talk about that as we approach, but I will protect you if that is what Ordell wishes.
I do.
That
All
is
of these
very
people that
much
came with me.
That is very much what Ordell should wish.
I mean, did we not talk about this before we set out?
I'm
We did.
just
I-
asking before we get here. This is kind of the last time to change minds.
I
No.
will reiterate that I said all of these individuals that I traveled with above my life.
Agreed.
I do not care.
I'm just double checking. We're here.
Yeah.
This is the last time to ask.
Thanks, buddy. We do all want to live.
I'm seeing that you all want to come into the town. I'm sure you all want to live. I don't want any of you to have death, but to come into the town is what I'm asking.
Thank you for clarifying.
Don't want
Speaking
anybody
of
to die.
wanting to live and everything, tea. Emma's gonna grab
Treek.
tea. I need you to have a conversation, and Emma's gonna pull out Ruckus for a moment. Ruckus, I need a contract, if you don't mind, with this good fellow right here.
Well, as he snaps his fingers, a small quill of pen and paper approaches before, says, "What are you in the mood for, bub?" Before the guy just sees.
Yes. So T. This is my friend Ruckus here. Now I have a question for you. If perchance you were to die, not saying I would kill you by any means, but if you were to die, could I perchance have your body for science?
Oh, what would you plan to do with my body?
Well, mostly your skeleton, in fact.
What would you plan to do with my skin and my muscle?
It could feed dogs, or it could do other things. But I'm not saying I'm just saying you're already going to be dead. You're not going to need it. But I'm not saying I'm going to kill you or you're going to die. Just listen. I just need to know if perchance you were to die, could I have your skeleton?
No, I plan to be burned upon a funeral pyre.
Beautiful. So we could burn the muscle and all the fleshy bits and all of that, but of the skeleton.
There should not be but ash that remains.
except for the skeleton. You could give me that. If you don't want to, that's perfectly
There
fine.
would be
We
nothing.
don't
I
have
would
to
be burned, as all would here.
Excuse me, what?
Sasha kind of says, if he wants to be burned at a pyre, just let him be burned at a pyre. That's his dying wish. You're not to die, are you? No! I'm not to die, am I? He kind of asks loudly to everyone. Am I?
No, not that I know of. But if perchance you were to, I was just throwing it out there that I would like your skeleton. You are a very handsome fellow, and I'm sure your skeleton is very nice.
Roll a persuasion at disadvantage.
Persuasion is +3, so a 14.
You say, you're a handsome fellow. Your skeleton must be pretty nice as you run your bony nail up his arm. Can we get to the town, please? And ignores your question further. As Elijah says, yes, let's continue then. You could talk of skeletons later. Keep this talk actually sealed up as we're in the town, if you wouldn't mind.
Elijah, sorry, it's more for like replacement parts. If I was, to miss a finger or an arm.
You want him
goes
to-
missing.
You want him to be a bone donor?
Yes, a donor. It's very respectable from where I used to come from.
How about this? All of us right now, we are about to be welcomed into a place that will not normally welcome us. We are not going to bring up contracts. We are not going to bring up blood. We are not going to bring up killing people, and we are only going to burn things as requested, eat when we are given food, and answer when we are asked a question. This is not a place that we can goof around if we want to live.
Ashrin Ritter whispers to you and says, I think, is it expected that we would be bone donors for Emma if we should die?
No, I think she's just bullying the new guy.
Oh, got it. Understandable.
Emma, you can have my bones if you want.
Wonderful. I'll have Raucus have the contract signed with you at some point in time.
While Emma says that, Ordell just full stink eye.
As you all walk along, Ordell kind of continues to eye Emma as Emma's looking over with Raucus, talking to Winter, and says, and this part here should basically absolve you of any wrongdoing that I should commit if I use your hands to do it. As you're walking along, explaining things to Emma, to Winter as she's on Ordell's back. Ordell just kind of continues to stare at Emma. Emma doesn't really stop. As you're moving along, eventually you get to the garret. Oh, go ahead.
I would like Ruckus to include a clause that's a buyout of sorts. If I'm able to provide Emma with a suitable substitute body, for example, something reasonable terms.
Oh, absolutely. I don't see what Raucus is that good?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, now when she says buyout, is she expecting to get paid for this? I wasn't going to pay her. Were you going to pay her?
No, I think she means more along the lines of if she supplies me with skeletons, then, we don't use her skeleton.
Understood. I will put on there she can kill as much as she wants.
Perfect.
Raucus holds it up to you. It is in the tiniest of print, but you're a seasoned scholar. You're able to read it. And it says exactly that. You have a license to kill whoever you want, and we will take the bodies.
We'll keep working on it, Emma.
Sounds good. You don't have to sign it right now. Ruckus, come here.
Okay. Before
We have
Do
time.
not sign anything that woman gives you, Winter.
You're not my dad.
I'm well aware, but I'm going to tell you right now that is nothing but bad news.
I'm gonna
You
just
can't
whisper.
have it both ways, Ordell.
This is happening. I'm just whispering to Ritter, like, okay, I know I kind of fucked up back there, but please, help me from acting out in this new town. The rest of these people I think I might be rubbing off on them too much.
Yeah, understood. Never mind. I'll save my questions for later. Are we
Why
supposed
do you always do that?
I like to observe before I do anything, but it seems that we're giving Treek a good-natured...
I don't like being told, hey, I'm going to tell you something. Wait, I'm not going to tell you. Never mind. Why even say it to begin with?
Sorry, I thought that maybe I could participate in helping make Treek feel welcomed by making fun of him, as you have continually done for me. Would you like to help?
Freak.
Yes, the new half-elven man.
Why would we help him?
You just said that's what Emma was doing. I thought this was what you doing. Are we not supposed to?
Making fun? Making fun and helping are very different.
No, that's what I'm saying. We would be teasing him.
Oh. I'm confused. But yes, I am not opposed to making fun of the new guy.
Good. Perhaps your nature is rubbing off on me as well, then. Just follow my lead. Treek, my good man. Oh, go ahead.
As this is happening, if there's a moment, which I'm sure there will be, that opens up that Winter is not surrounded by everyone, I'm just going to walk past and lean down a little bit and say, "Welcome to the club. I also have a license to kill." Keep walking again.
I think I'm still in the
The
in the
Bjorn.
Ordell.
Ordell's like, what is going on?
Yeah, straight up when Ritter yells for Treek and I can see both like Ashrin and Ritter there, I go by nope and scoop Treek under my arm and I'm just walking with him.
Do not listen to a thing any of them say.
Wait, Treek, I was going to ask what you were going to do with your blood.
Ritter, so help me God.
Well, you can't take my buddy.
You watch me.
I'm very scared as you're being like swung back and forth as you're holding him in your left arm like a package.
It's not safe, Ordell. I need a buddy.
Honestly, we are here. The buddy system is over. We are. This buddy system, honestly, was. Just stick together. Ask someone to go to the bathroom. The whole way we're walking up to the thing, Ordell just goes the off. And then when we get at the door, and that's why I think the buddy system is not that effective. Because what if you lose your buddy? Then you're at an uneven number, or you find someone. Oh, hi, we're here.
As you're standing like at the door. Oh, hi. There's been continuous laughter from the paladins that follow along here, observing the good-natured teasing of Treek. You even hear some of them try to put in a joke in there, but Ordell is on a rant and will not stop as you get to the door. As you're like, oh, hi, we're here. Elijah's like, yes, I've been trying to... Yes, before he knocks with the wooden clasp on the front of the garrison's gate. You immediately, very much like the eye hole that opens in Brie in the Lord of the Rings movie, a quick little slidden open thing appears before a man stands across from Elijah as he says, I think we found exactly what we were looking for. We found him. Go get Ignis. And you see the man kind of look around at the group and says, you got mad, Elijah. This. Not only is there a giant dead thing, there are skeletons among you. Says, I will vouch for the skeleton, as the big one is the one who we were looking for. Look at his chest, he's got the markings. But the skeleton. Yes. I will be responsible for anything the skeleton does. I'll put my name and my honor on it. This is on your head, but I will get Ignis before closing. And you hearing the doors open. Big, loud, heavy doors meant to withstand a siege if need be. But again, there is a big hole in the wall. And so a siege would not even need to happen right now. I gave Drew too much power there. As the door opens, you're able to now see actually down into this quarry of a town. Immediately behind this wall, it slopes downwards into cavity. The best way I can describe it is, you know, the like Grecian towns where there's layers that move up and down with small like stone homes and wooden homes with big flat rooftops where people may sit and go about their lives, with big rows that kind of go up and down. They kind of built it naturally in and alongside this quarry here and have created this town. There is a small keep isn't the right word, but the biggest building that could obviously be described as either like a governor's manse or whoever the leader of the town would be is here on the far edge of the quarry. It's big enough to be considered a keep, though it is still also being built just like the garrisoned walls are. On the front of it are large tapestries depicting in black and white with a red symbol, much like what is on Ordell's chest and on the hands of all of the paladins, the flame. There are braziers and torches lit all around this town, and as soon as you enter, almost like a magical spell from inside this door, you're immediately warmed. It feels like a sauna. This whole place gives off the vibe of a hot springs. And as you look down into the quarry, there is a large body of water, almost like a lake, that you can see steam coming up out from the bottom of it. Very clear, crisp, almost bubbling, near boiling water down at the bottom. It looks like a hot spring at the bottom of this quarry here. But this is not a large town. You can estimate just by how many people you see here, there may be somewhere around 5,000 to 10,000 people. So it's not small, but it's also not its own city. It might have just become considered a city at this point, which is why they are building the garrison and walls to keep things out. You see guards at the post on this garrison and inside the door, all wearing that similar symbol and attire here, though many of them do not have the thick, heavy armor that Elijah and the other paladins you saw wear. Many of these are just in chain mail with kind of thick cloth or wool tauberds over the front of them with that symbol upon it, carrying spears rather than swords like the paladins that you've been traveling with. As you arrive, you immediately start hearing whispers, not only from the guards next to you, but the people walking down the streets. It seems opening and closing the doors is quite loud, and since there's not many people here, it attracts the attention of others. And as you look down, everybody seems to have been walking and stopping. When they see you, the sight of either Emma or Ordell causes people to kind of stop in their tracks for a moment before Treek falls to his knees and then leans his head down and kisses the stone floor. I never thought I'd actually make it inside the door again. Thank you, before he kind of grasps a few of the paladins by their breastplates and hugs them and kisses upon their cheeks and just says, thank you so much. I'm just go find my family, and thank you for being my... Here, I dare not take your axe, sir, before trying to hand it back to Ordell.
Keep it. Just let it be a reminder how important your family is and what it is like to be lost.
Thank you. May the flame guide you. I will use this and quit my courier work and become a lumberjack or something that keeps me inside these city walls. Bless you.
Good call.
And here, my buddy, take this. And Emma's gonna hand him a mace.
And you can have my axe and my mace. Do you have a spare mace?
I do. I only have one mace.
From being a cleric?
From being a cleric, but also at the same token, thanks to, I can't remember who it was that gave me a -1 strength score, doesn't really do me any good anyway.
You hand him the mace as he holds to. These are mighty gifts I'm not sure I deserve.
And remember, when you come across an undead next time, we're not all bad. See, the 2 undead in this group gave you gifts. Did you see the living ones give you anything? No.
No, my
right.
stuff is my own.
Winter says from the back of the Bjorn.
But
So we're warm
think
in
of
here. I'm gonna
family.
get Emma, or I'm gonna get Winter out of the Bjorn because I just realized she's probably cooking at this point because of how warm it is. So I'm gonna open it up and then just fold it back closed.
Ooh, Ordell, should I get in the Bjorn?
Why do you want to get in the Bjorn?
Nobody get
Because,
Elijah. Nobody
one,
get in the Bjorn. It would be wise for you not
because-
to be in the Bjorn.
If I get in the Bjorn, Elijah, 1, you know where I am at all times. I cannot cause trouble.
I do not
2,
want.
Am I-
She looks at Elijah and says, 2, I don't have any other ones. Mostly you just know where I am and I can't get into too much trouble. In there.
Emma,
Frank.
you're like a snail. You have a magical house that you can go into at any time.
Do
you
not
don't
go
need
into
to get
your-
my beyond.
Do not go into your house. The only way this is okay if we approach it with honesty and show them that you mean no harm.
Also, Emma, I am well aware of the fact that you could be shackled underwater and tied up and put in a box, and you would still find a way to make trouble. So no, you're not going in the Bjorn.
Also, I'm hiding things in there.
Wait, what?
Also,
Nothing.
Nothing as she ties the fur close.
Ordell, I have a secret for you. But
I want
not
to know
for
the
now.
secret.
But not
Is it-
for right now.
Is this secret going to come with ink and paper?
No contracts, no deals, nothing like that.
We'll talk later.
Yes, we will.
I just pat Emma on like the forehead, kind of just like a little like, and then walk away.
Is the secret like some strange self-help book that you have in your library?
No, actually, a little gossip for you. Sasha tucked Ordell in the other night.
Winter makes a huge loud that everyone stops to look at. Waiting.
Sorry,
for
I-
why.
I'm just so
She's
excited.
Yes, she's very excited.
It
Or else,
is a
like,
grand
like the
city.
further-
It is.
Again, dad eye at both of them.
Inspo to Jackie. That's a cute pupper.
She's not feeling well, so I'm just hugging her.
No. Adam is the paladin who's it's like, it is quite a grand city. I'm excited to
Just
be
look
here
at
as
it, that-
well.
Architecture is just absolutely stunning.
This is the first
Stunning.
time anyone besides Elijah has been here, and so they take your excuse at face value and get to observe where they are. This is essentially the forefront of their fight, and they are very excited to be here and join in the front lines. They feel as if this is their calling, and they are very pleased to finally be done with their journey here. And not only that, for it to be comfortable and warm in this location. They thought they were going to be freezing at the end of their
And
journey.
also not burned to the ground. You know, I would assume they burn everything to the ground. I kind of assumed when.
I told
give
you we
you
don't
everything
do
when
that
you-
with everything.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
There's a difference between seeing and believing, isn't there, Elijah?
We're going
This
to
is-
die here.
We shall do no such thing. Matter of fact, we don't stay a minute more. Let's go. Let's meet Ignis.
Right.
And then Ordell turns, behave.
Emma's like, okay, I'll be quiet. And Emma's going to remove her lower jaw and just like tuck it up.
Put your jaw back on.
And then without putting the jaw back, she says, I just thought I'd be more quiet this way.
I can still hear you at the same fault.
So Ordell just like walks forward, his face like finally like Ordell's always been like just pure gray. His face is beet red right now.
As Emma takes her jaw off, can I
Wait,
beam
no.
in on it? I just want to. She told me that her jaw was cursed, and now she's taken it off. Like that is gonna draw my attention.
Emma holds the jaw in her hand. Roll a perception to see if you can read on the inside of the jaw.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm reading. I'm looking.
So, chat. If I were to see,
function.
if
No,
I were to
see
see a
words, but I
poster
might
on the
Switch
wall
off my reading function.
that says like no running or no diving at a pool, is it possible to look at that and just recognize, yep, there's words there, but I don't know what those words are?
I don't want to read them.
Refuse,
making a
actually.
I'm
It's
making a
all
blissful
conscious
ignorance.
effort
if you know the language, which I
not
don't
to
think
read.
you do.
What's your perception?
My perception is 9.
Solid. Emma's hand is overturned and it makes it hard to read. You can see that there are markings, but only just the bottom half, like seeing the dot of an eye, but you can't see
Mhm.
what's made out of it. You'd have to be able to see a little more. As Elijah begins to move the group along the western wall around towards where the large building is. The other paladins are taking in the sights as you go along here. Is everybody going along?
Mhm.
Perfect.
Emma's going to be on her best behavior.
Ritter, still holds his bow in his hand, though he doesn't hold an arrow. He just feels a bit more comfortable with it that way. As you move along this winded quarry road here, several of the people inside rush out to see Elijah coming in before stopping and freezing immediately and backing away, either under their awnings to be a little bit more hidden or move inside their house and peer through their curtains. Not being terribly inconspicuous about it, but the sight of Ordell and Emma does confuse them and more scare them than anything. XC, with your perception, you notice there are a bevy of races here. There are humans, half-elves, a few dwarves, some tieflings, but as many as there are these other races, there are also warforged here. An equal amount to the humans, elves, halflings. They are an equal part of this society. They do not shy away as everybody else comes in here. The Warforged stand continuing their duties. Some of them stop and give a nod to Medi and Coax as they walk along, as Medi and Coax nod back at them before kind of looking at you quizzically and staring at you in a weird way, analyzing you, almost welcoming you. It feels better than to have them ignore you. It means that they recognize your presence.
Are they all of the furnace style?
No. Several of them are. There are many that seem to be powered by some sort of flame inside of them. But there are others that are electrical in nature, much like you. One of them looks almost to be made entirely out of exposed wires going around a metal chassis. No real protection to it, but a lot of information must pass between those wires.
How interesting.
I
won't do anything with that knowledge at this stage.
Okay. You all continue to traverse around before, in front of the large keep-like building, you can still hear the hammers as many people are basically making the bastions that, or the towers that would be on the edge of this keep here. There are 2 guards at the front that stop Elijah before allowing him to come even towards the door. All of them with swords, not spears like you saw before, and in heavy armor, much like Elijah and the rest of the paladins. Elijah moves up to them before holding one finger, as if to tell the group to wait. They seem to whisper between each other before Elijah drops down to one knee and holds his sword out of its scabbard and above it in front of his face. The other 2 nod as they pull their gloves off and show them the mark. Elijah does the same. Then he stands up and says, "All right, come on. Let's get you to meet Ignis. Emma, it would be best if you kept your hands visible and out of pockets."
She holds her horns.
As Elijah moves forward to open...
Elijah, wait. Should Ruckus be visible as well?
Probably best not.
Okay, Ruckus, stay in there. Don't come out.
Everybody just sees his pocket kind of, or her pocket kind of wiggle. As Elijah opens the heavy door into the keep. There is no quarry or courtyard. This is not big enough to be that. It is just a very large building here built into the side of the wall. As Elijah opens it inside, there are several tapestries that hang down from inside here, and 2 large braziers on the side of what appears to be not a throne. It's not big enough or ornate enough to look like a throne, but it is decorative, like it would be a governor or somebody who leads the town's chair and seat where people could come and speak to them about matters. There's also a kind of sunken in, mimicking much like the quarry that you're all in, part of the floor where there is a great flame coming out the center of it. Sitting upon that chair and next to it are 2 warforged, much like the furnished ones that you saw before, and sitting in the chair is a very large one. The best description I can give would be, it looks like General Grievous, except all wrought iron with a great flame within its furnace chest. The flame itself burns an incredibly bright orange as it sits there with 2 looking to be bastard swords on its hilt, much like the others wear. Before you all walk in, Immediately, it stands up with its cloak falling down to the ground and dragging behind it. It looks at you all, says, Elijah, I did not think you to return so soon. I am very happy to see all of you here. What's this? You bring the dead into our midst. There should be some sort of explanation, I assume. Elijah says, I think there be no better explanation than that they can give. You can trust their word, Ignis. I have found myself in company of trustworthy folk. I've brought many a paladin here, and they have all given their lives and trusted, as we have found one reborn of the flame, much like you have asked for quite a long time. Ignis stands up before walking and approaches, says, well, this is good news. Very good news indeed. As he walks out and around the flame, now standing in front of it with arms crossed, looking at you all. It doesn't have 4 arms like Grievous does, just 2, but it stands quite tall, looking down towards you all and says, what a interesting assortment of adventurers. And new paladins for the ranks. Forgive me, I will speak with you all privately, but I must address this. Which of you is the one they claim to be reborn?
Before Emma starts talking, I step in front of Emma. Just in case.
Is it you, then? Looking as you make a step forward as he asks the question.
Ordell puts a gentle hand on Exy and takes his poncho off and puts his large blade on the ground, and then steps forward, and Ordell enters a rage and makes himself glow.
It is me.
Ordell, this Warforge mimics you in height, and its eyes glow like a fiery red coal in reflection to the symbol on your chest. And he says, before he falls to his knees, Great Flame, it is true then. You have come to us. I offer our services so freely. Before kind of crawling itself and hearing a loud scrape of its knees across the floor up to you on its knees, and it puts its hands out towards you. I should thank you for arriving and giving us this hope, this chance. I am so grateful to you, reborn of the flame.
Yes. I will be honest, I don't know what this all entails. I have heard the voice among coals and seen the face in flame, and it reached out to my chest. So whatever you need from me, I am here. I just ask for answers.
And you shall have them. Standing upwards, reaches out to shake your hand, almost grabs it from your side, unwillingly, says, and you shall have them. You shall have whatever you need. We are so in your debt, we can finally do what we need to end this war. We can stop the plague. You are a gift from the flames, and shall be treated as such. Matter of fact, what am I, if not to give you a gift? Before undoing the clasp of its cloak, seeing its thin, wiry flame, it holds the cloak out in front of you, red and gold on its ornaments on the bottom. It's kind of a golden fur down at the bottom. It is very regal, not a knight's cape, but almost a kingly cape, with the flame made in the gold, just like the symbol upon your chest. It folds it out neatly, quickly, with the skills of a warforged in its hand as it quickly folds it up and presents it like folded laundry in a cape towards you. This cape and this regal adornment should be yours, not mine. You will lead us against the plague, and you deserve this cloak of the flame bearer.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, Ignis. If I may, what makes you so sure I am the one you are looking for? There's others that were skeptical, and I don't even know who I am. How do you know so clearly?
Elijah is a dear friend, and I trust his word greatly. That aids, but that symbol upon your chest, I've seen it in the flame. I was given a vision. I knew one like you would come, though I did not expect it to be so grand in scale, if you would give that to me. I honestly expected something, and he points to XC, much like yourself or mine, that might have been reborn in the flames.
Well, the only thing I ask is that for at least a night, my friends and I get somewhere comfortable to sleep. Winter and Ashrin get some food and water in them, and I guess I'd like to talk to you and understand where all of this goes. And if some of your Warforged could spend time with XC. XC is a brilliant Warforged, but I believe, like myself, he is lost out of time. We were both lost, and I appreciate their guidance.
Of course, you shall have whatever you need. If there's anything that I can give you, I shall do so. But worry not, for we must feast in your honor. I must know your names. I am XC, previous Flamebearer, but now that title remembers to Ordell.
You said your name is XC?
Sorry, my name is Ignis.
Oh my god.
Whoopsies.
I was like, my mind just exploded out my butt right there.
That seemed like too good a reveal. Maybe it should be true, but no, my name is Ignis.
I am the real XC.
With
We
a
are
real
all
XC,
XC.
please stand up.
With Ignis the whole time.
Everyone's faces.
Wow, that's a better plan than what I had. His name's XC now. Holy shit.
Write it
That's
in,
rad.
Ryan. Write it in.
I'm exceedingly excited to meet you. My name is Ignis.
Oh,
Ordell takes the piece of obsidian from his bag again.
according to this or whatever it says, I am Ordell. But if someone could restore to speak giant, it may say more.
And after it's handed off, Ordell's going to do that big, like, Doctor Strange flare of the cloak and put it on.
As you do so, twirling the cloak back over you, you notice almost like small fireworks. Sparks fly off the edge of the golden tassels at the bottom of the cape as you flourish it.
Ordell, you have so many beautiful accessories now.
I will say I work this.
As he kind of, like, flicks himself but smiles.
As you
Does that mean that Winter's little hideaway is now under the cloak?
I mean, yeah, I guess it would be for now.
for now, sure.
I think Ordell like, tossed all of
You
his
look
stuff
like you have a
aside.
very big hunchback unless you take it off.
You know, Ordell like tossed all of his stuff aside like when
Okay.
he did the big walk forward. So currently it's just Ordell's got like the cloak on and basically his pants, which are super ripped, and Ordell's just filthy right now.
Don't forget that you guys owe him a hat.
Ignis looks and says, "If that was promised, then we will get you a hat."
Mm-hmm. Ignis, sorry, my name's Winter. It's lovely to meet you. The hat, just to be specific, needed to be fancy.
Absolutely. You will be here as guests for some time, and we will get you whatever you need.
Oh, thank you.
Winter, very nice to meet you, as well as Ordell. What is the rest of your names?
My hand is on my rapier.
EB134-XE.
You,
The Rio XE.
The real XD, please stand up.
you are a dwarven maid, I see. We have many just like you. You will be welcome and at home here. I look very much forward to speaking with you.
My hand is still on my rapier, and I look to Ritter like, can we trust these people? But I'm just gonna say,
He looks
My
at you kind of
name-
like, we're here now.
my name is Ashrin.
Ashrin, pray tell, your ears, are you a high elf or a golden elf or a drow?
I shake my hair, so my hair is covering my ears. Just an elf.
An elf you shall
I-
be.
I shrink.
Ritter bows. Ritter, sir. Ritter, I think I've heard that name. Says, perhaps you have. And you, to Emma.
Emma's not saying anything. Emma was told to be on their best behavior, not do nothing, not be extra nothing. So Emma's just gonna be quiet.
Is this a thrall of yours of some sort? I'm confused.
Oh, this is Emma. She has the nickname the Bone Queen, as she is a very impressive healer, caster, and vibrant personality. And if it may be under your decree, I would like that she can be herself here. Safe. She likes to be eccentric, so I would like that she has a safe space for that.
The Bone Queen, that name concerns me greatly, but eccentricities are not lost upon me. I have them as well. Perhaps we shall dine greatly tonight. Emma, if Ordell vouches for you, then I, bowing before you, shall do the same.
Emma just watches this thing bow before. Emma's never had anything like this before. She just, if Emma could give like a stank face right now, be like, "The fuck are you doing?"
Lifts up the jaw and then turns it.
Take a look at this. Read this real quick.
Here you go.
Forgive me. I must tend to my paladins who've had a long journey. We must speak tonight. We will feast. I will answer many of your questions. And we will get lists of all that you need to prepare you. And prepare us. We've been waiting for you for some time here. I'm very excited. But we'll feast tonight. Please, make yourselves at home. I have chambers off to the side. You need not sleep in the inn. Stay here as my guest.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Nods his head and bows. He points off to the side. No one seems to escort you at this point like you were originally. They kind of give you free reign to this part of the keep. He points off to the western wing of the keep here, where there are several doors, all of which, as you go to open and check them, seem to be well made and well decorated rooms, as if this will eventually be a keep for some nobleman, though whether Ignis is or not, or is currently just residing here, is kind of up for debate. But there are 4 rooms here, all of which have one large king-size bed in them, as well as nightstands and a small bucket of water for baths. Or not bucket, but like a basin of water.
So after getting this thing of that Emma's accepted, and he does the whole bow and starts walking away, I'm just gonna give it a little bit, maybe about 115 feet, or maybe it depends. Right before he disappears, wherever he's going, and Emma's gonna do a message into Ignis's head.
You all are going down the hallway. There's not really 150 feet to go. This isn't a monumentous
Just
keep.
whatever the distance is before we lose eyesight.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, y'all will be going into your rooms to lose eyesight. Otherwise, if you're out in the hallway, you could see what's going on as Ignis now talks to the paladins. It's far enough away that you can't really make out what he's saying. It kind of echoes in the halls in here. But if you're wanting to message, you can.
so I would say right before he starts talking to the paladins, Emma's just gonna say something real easy. It's Emerald Ghoulcrest.
I assume this is Emma speaking to me.
Indeed.
Emerald Ghoulcrest it is.
Indeed.
Leaves it at that. There are 4 rooms here. There are 6 of you, all of which seem to be adorned with all that you might need. Where's everybody staying? Who's staying with who until the feast?
I run to Winter. Winter!
Yes, buddies.
Please,
Or
room
Rita.
buddies. Yes, I don't want a room with the boys. Probably have,
Ew,
like,
boys
bad
stink.
hygiene, exactly.
Emma's like, may I join as well?
Mhm. Oh, sleepover.
Yeah.
Did you see there's a bath?
As you open and look into the door, there seems to be a basin with really warm water. Somebody must have put it in here quite freshly.
Mm.
I
How
don't know.
how?
Last time I've had a bath.
I mean, we have baths a lot at home, but it's been a while, hasn't it? How long
Nerve-wracking
have
to
we
say if
been?
I had nose, you two would probably stink.
Well,
Not to be rude, I most likely do too. I don't, like I said, I don't have a nose.
would you? Do you still enjoy baths, Emma?
Absolutely. Hydrating the bones is wonderful.
Doesn't that make them soft?
I don't have to worry about it. We're safe in here as far as I know. I mean, unless we get murdered by a cult, and then, if that's the case, we're already screwed.
Oh, I could add some special like incense and things. And I use prestidigitation to like make some nice smelling bath salt type feels in the basin.
As you do so, it begins bubbling outwards, much like just throwing a bath bomb inside of there. Many colorful bits of sparkling powder begin erupting and turning into bubbles, and smells bathe into the room. As the rest of the group is kind of standing there in the doorway as you all were deciding this, we're just like, you should all be fine then, before Winter says, "Yep, girls' night," and closes the door on them.
Exactly.
Well, 3 more rooms and there's 3 of us.
Sounds good to me.
By
I
the way,
follow Ordell into his room.
I was gonna say, as Ordell's going to his room, though, I do take, because I've still had the jaw thing, because I've been using it as evidence for people, and I feel like we're past where I'll need to show it off. I'm gonna give that to Exy now, because I gave him the arm, but now I'm gonna give him the jaw skull piece of
Yeah,
that
that
he.
little head cap.
so you can make more bullets or craft with it. I held on to it in case we needed evidence of who we slain, but I think we're past that.
Understood. While we are talking, let's talk about this. And I pull out the necklace.
Ah, yes. Can we talk about it while I soak? I have not had a bath since long before all of you bothered me in my tome.
As long as you are able to open and close your mouth and breathe in and out, then that is fine, because that allows you to talk.
That is such a strange way of saying that, but yes, I will be able to do that.
As Ordell's like now like Geralt style, like soaking in like a bathtub, his legs hanging over.
Siri.
Full suds.
How big are these bathtubs?
They're big enough for Ordell to lay out in, with like legs and arms over it. They would basically be as if you had a big barrel, cut it in half sideways and laid it downwards, but made of metal, as they are full bath basins. As you're in there, they are quite warm, and so is the metal basin that you're touching. It's almost uncomfortably hot, but just it feels like being inside of a hot tub as you're inside these baths. And as you're in there, it doesn't seem to cool down in any way.
Mm.
The literal dream.
Winter's just gonna
Blood.
like brush out Ashran's hair and kind of like help do self-care things. And so how was the travel?
Like confused, she just goes, "It was fine."
No, I think you misunderstand. How was the travel?
Mm, you know,
Tiring.
The same as
Tiring.
yours.
Mm.
My
did you
feet
have any
hurt.
interesting conversations with certain brown-eyed, bow-wielding?
There was only one brown-eyed bow wielder in our troop. Are you talking about Ritter?
Winter brushes her hair a little bit harder. Yeah, yes.
Oh God! Shaking my neck too much. It was fine. I don't. What are you implying?
I mean, we've been traveling for 3 days. I'm sure you had a lot of time to bond. How's it going?
Right, and learn that Ritter was a slave.
Oh,
Not what you thought. What was it?
no. Here? What happened to the people that were keeping him captive?
It's a long story, but it's not as sexy as you thought. It's the exact opposite, actually. Turns out, Stardust was his owner for a time. So there's
Oh.
that.
So the mysterious woman that you thought may have been like emotional competition was actually just a bitch.
Where did this emotional competition come from?
Well, you know, because you're obviously in love with Ritter.
It's very true. I can see it all
even-
over your face.
Even if I'm in the bath, I just stand up straight, like I don't know. Excuse me?
I mean,
I mean, it's fairly
right?
obvious, is it not, Winter?
I mean, I thought so.
That's like saying you and Ordell are in love. Just because you guys spend so much time together. It's not the same.
I don't think it is like that actually.
No.
No.
No, clearly Winter and Ordell, they either have like a sibling relationship or like a daughter-father kind of relationship. Definitely not anything more than
No.
platonic for sure. I mean, if put it this way, the first time you met the man, you wrestled with him. Like, come on.
I have never wrestled Ordell.
True.
Hey, but you've ridden him for days on it.
I mean, a platonic piggyback. I feel like you're deflecting here, Ash.
I think she is as well.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still standing there like soaked, just no armor, no clothes.
Oh, you know, spells, right? Right? The ones that are, do you know that spell that makes people tell the truth?
I put that one away because I didn't think we needed it in the forest.
Well, not you.
Oh.
You're not going to want to tell us the truth.
Hold on, I'm getting over to it. I don't at the moment, but I could
Oh,
in the morning.
I think in the morning we play truth or dare. And if you pick truth, you have to answer in the zone of truth.
Fine.
I'm down for it.
Fine, I have nothing to hide as I stand here dripping.
Let me finish braiding your hair.
You are wrong, first of all, and I just like I can imagine Winter just like forces me down back in the bath. Just-
Yeah.
So what you are saying is that you put this on your head?
Over your neck, it is like a necklace with a small comet on it. And the comet has an ability that will take your soul version of yourself and it will project it in the sky. And you will see for miles. I could see quite a bit. It was disorienting, but I think you, of all people, are the most level-headed and would benefit the most from such vision.
You are correct. I have a direct 90-degree level of my head. I will attempt this now with your supervision.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies,
comfortably.
they're playing dress up at the moment.
XC quite
As
literally
Emma
has a
sees-
collar on being a warforged at this point.
I sort of tuck the emerald into my ass.
What?
I read
Why
that
do
in
you
a
have
D&D
em-
smut book one time. What do you see, Emma?
I would assume nuts and bolts.
Yeah, I was gonna say his ball bearings.
How to program my Warforged.
You see the hole in the Death Star.
It's just called JavaScript or Python. Python.
The C+, guys. It's a C+.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Rating your lover a C+.
Can you confirm the word to use?
Comet.
Affirmative. Comet.
XC. as it has definitely been a new day, you immediately find yourself blown upwards 1,000 feet in the air. At this point, you are maybe about 500 feet above the ground level of where the actual garrison was at the front, since you've had to go down a little bit to get to where the keep is. You're partway up the cliffside that actually goes into the mountain, and you can see the entirety of the city from here. It seems that you're also able to go through whatever building you're in and get a bird's eye view. Ordell, you look at XC, who suddenly crumples and falls to the ground, making a loud sound. Ashrin, Winter, and Emma hear something fall in the room nearby. But XC, you now have a bird's eye view of the city. Roll me a perception check.
Oh, I'll take it now. 20 plus 7.
Yes, you will. You see multiple groups of people along the pathway that you tread, gathering in small groups, seeming to be conversing about something in groups of maybe 20 or 30. They are talking about something that they were not when you all previously came into here. Something has caused quite a commotion within the town. You also, with your nat 20, see Treek sitting atop a home on one of the rooftops nearby, just sitting on a chair, hands kind of in his head and just looking downwards with the weapons on a nearby table. But, oh, go ahead.
Totally not loaded question, and give me as little information as you physically can. What do I see when I look down to my body?
You see the keep below you because you cannot see down into your body. You can't see through the keep.
Sorry, so literally it's like
you're talking
point.
Yeah, it's your head up there, but looking downwards, you don't see anything. It's just vision, if that makes sense.
All right. Can I move?
You can certainly try, but as you go upwards, you try and like flail your arms about, but nothing seems to happen. You just are stuck in this singular position. Ordell, you see XC's arms kind of twitch onto the ground as if he's kind of convulsing a bit, but that does kind of worry you, as you were told to just be in a coma-like state before.
XC, you all right?
XC, you hear nothing. Before.
Now, did Ordell tell me how to get out of this?
No, it lasts 1 minute.
I don't remember.
So being that you compute things very, very quickly, it feels like a long time that you're up here in the air, like before you just keep running through. Oh, go ahead.
I will take this time to make as good as you let me rudimentary map of the town from above,
Absolutely,
from a bird's eye view.
Absolutely. You
from
definitely,
a comet's eye view.
You get a good lay of the land of where the garrison is, where this keep is, where like the springs at the bottom are, and a few notable larger buildings here within the quarry. Good enough to keep in your memory. As you're trying to make a full map in your mind, suddenly you find yourself plummeting downwards towards the keep. You're certain you're going to hit the roof and die. Before, quickly, you're thrown back into your body. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save? Well, I get +4 on wisdom, so that's 12 + 4 is 16.
Ooh, all right. You actually beat it as you fall back into your body. You're aware that you're suddenly back in your own conscious self, and that was some sort of illusory image, not your actual body falling down to the ground. And don't scream out in pain or terror like Ordell did.
That was very interesting.
Yes. How did you feel? Do you feel all right?
I do not feel, but I was able to get a good scope of the land and the town as well.
That's good to know. I believe you can do that once a day. I'm not sure how many uses it has.
Nothing happens, Ryan?
Nothing.
I believe you are correct.
Well, I'm glad you've found it much better than I did. I was very overwhelmed when I hit the ground. I can't say I've ever been that high very quickly.
It would be a unnerving experience for biologicals.
Yes. Exie, how do you feel now that you're around some of your kin?
I do not understand the question.
There is many more Warforged here, as opposed to being the only one among many of us. You are around those similar to you. Does that make you feel supported? Or do you have any questions for them? Is there anything I can help you in?
I do not think so. I have been around Warforged a lot during the wars. This is not an unusual experience.
But it's been some time since the wars, Exie.
Affirmative, though I do not remember that time. So I do not view that as time past to me.
Well, as long as you're comfortable.
To
You can
me,
ask any of us.
a month ago, I was in the middle of combat, fighting for my general's existence.
Well, Exie, now here, things are different. You are fighting for yourself now. Do you understand that?
Affirmative. You have changed my mode.
And you wear it well.
The only
As-
way I can wear it.
As you've all been kind of bathing and relaxing for some time, everybody gets a point because that was some fun role play, both for the quite literal girls' slumber party and the comet play there. It was good stuff.
Well,
Before,
in that case, Ryan, can I cash in my 10
do you have your tin? You want to cash it in today?
No, we can. I'll give it to you now, but we can use it next week.
Okay. We'll cash it in next week then. So just
Could-
hold on to your 10, remind me, and we'll cash it in then. You can totally do it now if that's what you want, but if not, we'll do it next week.
Could there be
I
a
don't
knock
think
on
we
their
have enough
door?
time.
That was
Okay.
the absolute plan. It was going to be a knock. It was going to be from Ritter, but if you want it to be from you, that can be fun.
Yeah, just real quick. I knock on the door. It's Emma. Hello.
Ordell is
Door's
still in the
unlocked.
bath.
I am bathing, but you can come in. Don't worry, I've covered myself in suds.
Perfect. Emma opens the door. She is naked.
Your
skeleton as
naked,
is.
yeah.
Right.
Um,
Clothing, not a thing.
XC, can you put the ring on this chain for me for a moment? I need it for a little bit.
Negative. It is in the middle of me planning out the modifications.
Shit. Okay, then I need to go in it just for a moment. Emma's gonna grab some books, and she's gonna pop back out.
Any particular books?
I have some in mind. I'll save it for next session on what I'm grabbing, but
Good.
and we can pop back out.
Sounds good. Emma quickly comes out clutching a few books, covering them with her bony arms so that you cannot see the titles of them.
And then she heads back out and shuts the door.
Emma,
Goes back over to the girls.
as you're walking out, before you go in, you see Ritter with a towel draped around his bottom half with actually freshly washed hair. You can see he must have gone without as a ranger for quite some time and is actually cleaned and washed up. You can see several scars going across his chest and abdomen, seemingly a long life of battle. Before he just kind of nods and says, "Are they in there?"
Emma looks him up and down. Yep, sure are. And then Emma goes back in to where the girls are.
Roll me a perception real quick.
Oh, Ashrin. Okay. Non-natural 20, dirty 20.
As
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As Ritter knocks on the door to Ordell and XC, getting a similar greeting like, Shed, come in, before Ritter goes to open the door. You turn around to look at him as he goes in. Being that you were already looking him up and down, you might as well see the back side of him as well. But you see covered across his back is tons and tons, what must be hundreds of scars and tissue that made up lashings across his back. Almost the entirety of the skin on the back is just solid scar tissue before he opens the door and goes in with Ordell and XC, or closing it behind. You can go back in with Ashrin and Winter and prepare for the feast if you'd like. Is there anything that you want to be doing there, or?
I just let Asher know as she walks back in with these about 3 or 4 books. Says, Ritter cleans up quite well. Looks quite nice after being bathed.
Okay, good. Then maybe you should spend time with him.
Ashrin, first off, I can't. Not that
You
I
can
would.
spend time
but-
with anybody. What are you talking about?
Yes. I thought we were talking about something else. I was going to say the last time I had anything like that, I was back before the ring. That was with this guy.
Wait,
really-
but what? This guy? But what about your true love?
I don't have a true love. What are you talking about?
You do. She looks just like you.
No, the last person I had a fling with, that his name was Spade, but I don't know who.
What a weird name.
Sounds
He
like
was
an
rather
outlaw.
odd, but he had a very wonderful accent.
Did he work at like a graveyard or something? Like,
Funny enough, he was a monk of sorts, but I didn't really get it. He worked for this lizard folk back in the day, but you know.
Wait, so you were both skin sacks? Or
No,
was
we
this-
were both bones. It wasn't much fun to do anything, but we had some good laughs at others.
yeah, how does that? Do you have like a book on how that would work? Because
It just doesn't.
just like research purposes, I guess.
I guess you could make like an amalgamation of like a golem of sorts and just put different bones together and create another entity, but we never did that. So no. Who is
Emma,
this
what
true
was
love?
Spade like?
Well, he was quite loyal to who he worked for, and honestly, I thought he was a rather good person. He was a man of his word.
He does sound quite nice.
He was. Very, very nice. He did have some run-ins with people that tried to do stupid things, but you know, he ended up leaving for a while. He never came back after that.
Oh, he just ghosted you.
Sad. Is that when you met your true love?
I don't know what you're talking about, true love.
The skin bag.
You keep referring to this picture, and Emma's gonna pull out the picture out of like the jumbled mess of clothes.
You found it.
It's her. She is beautiful.
Me.
What?
No.
Emma is gonna use silent image, and it is me.
Bone Queen. This adds a whole new element to the first chapter of my book.
And at that, XC turns to Ordell as Ritter's walking in. Should I have an open door policy for you?
Might as well. Hi, Ritter.
Hi, you said that I could come in, is it not?
Oh, yeah. No, he's just discussing if somebody else knocks on the door. Just kind of let anyone in.
Good.
I mean, the worst they're going to see is my soaking little toes.
And so Ordell wiggles his little toes.
Yeah, the bath was nice. I give him that.
Right?
So I've talked with Ashrin about this before, and all of you, but talked with her about it a bit more. Just be wary about these paladins. I don't know if rumors are true and they are what causes the flames to kind of spread throughout this area. They don't take kindly to those that aren't in their similar interests. If our interests align, then by all means, but just be careful with what you say. I wouldn't want to be on their bad side.
It's good to know. I mean, so far we're on their good side. We
Seems
have
like
fun
it.
baths.
They're very good. Don't think I've had a hot bath in a year. I've bathed, of course, in the river, but it's quite cold up here.
I haven't even done that, I'll be frank. I know I smell terrible.
Oh, no, I know.
Wow, it's fine when I say it, but Ritter, come on.
I smelled horrible, too. I think it had been a month before I'd bathed since you all arrived.
Ritter, I'm messing with you. We all smelled awful.
Very much so. Gosh, I didn't say anything, but yes. Oh, just...
Affirmative.
Spread out, that's
my
why.
odor gauge is off the charts.
Do you bathe?
Why didn't you turn
Exy?
that off?
I feel like you should bathe. Do you bathe?
Negative. Apologies. Not negative, but negative. We do not bathe. We lather oil.
See, that's always confused me. I never understood why a Warforged would cover itself in oil to bathe. I wouldn't do the same thing to my washing board to clean it. I would wash it.
Maybe
We
it's
use a
comfort.
special compound and then, lack of better word, buff ourselves.
Ordell flexes.
I already do that.
If you're buffing yourselves,
Yes,
I
you
don't need
do.
to be in here for that. I just wanted to mention that I think we should be cautious.
We
We
can
will,
buff
but-
you as well if you would like.
No, I think
Yes,
not.
Ritter, join us for a good buffing. Come on.
As Ordell like steps out of the tub like Thor Ragnarok style
yeah.
and gives Ritter a noogie.
That's no.
My right arm starts swiveling.
Yes, we've got it. We buff him very good.
As like, there's literally been this like, oh, we're having a stereotypical girls' night inside here. The guys goes the same as Ritter grabs his towel and tries to like whip you with it and yada yada.
Absolutely.
Passes time where people are able to bathe and finally feel comfy amongst themselves. There's so much time you're actually even able to clean your clothes here as well. As at one point one of you goes out to ask if they're ready yet, but they say no, dinner won't be for a while, please continue to make yourselves at home. So you do so, you clean your clothes and finally get ready for the conversation that is to happen with Ignis. Ashrin.
While this is happening, I'm probably done after my bath. I have like a towel around me. My hair's up in a towel too. I will cast Detect Magic to just see if there's anything like any invisible orbs are spying on us, or like I don't know, just see if there's anything magical in our room.
As Ashrin, you look around and cast Detect Magic while Winter's getting her things ready, as is Emma. Emma's sitting on the bed reading through some of the books, making sure these are the one that she wants. Before Ashrin, you, a bit suspicious, reach into your pouch and throw up some sparkling fey dust to look around and see if there is any magic in the room. And you detect quite a bit, actually. The braziers that hang from chains from the ceiling are magical in nature, conjuration magic, as is the tub in which you bathed upon. Also magic, but this one is evocation magic. Seems to be enchanted in some way to warm the water within. There is also magic upon the lock of the door, but this one is so tiny, you're unable to really see what it is. But knowing that it is magic, you might be able to investigate it further or get help investigating it.
And that's the extent.
It's all that seems to be in the room is the flames and the tub.
And also probably Emma. Just
Yeah,
bursting
for
with-
sure. All of you bursting, but
Okay, thank you.
right. As everyone is preparing, now that you're able to wash your clothes, does anybody plan to attend the feast in their armor, I guess is the best way to describe it? Or are you trying to be dressed as professionally as possible? The paladins are definitely going to be in their armor. And the Warforged are, like Alex is looking, they're in their Sunday best all the time.
Barbarians don't wear armor either, so Ordell's gonna borrow whatever nice clothes he can get and this huge cloak. Ordell's gonna be fancy.
And like anything he tries to wear is just like ripping in the back.
Ordell, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm dumb, but that's pretty okay. 17.
17. As you get out of the bath. You don't have much to wear except pants and then throw on the cloak. As soon as you do so, you know how whenever you get out of a hot tub or something, it's really cold outside of the warm water. As soon as you put the cloak on, you feel warm. You feel heated, no longer cold, and you oh, I didn't towel off before you dip your hand back into the water, which no longer feels hot, but just simply lukewarm to you.
That's cool. That's cool.
Actually, it is warm, not cool.
Go away.
I just smile. And yeah, Ordell's gonna get dressed up as nice as he can. And while he's getting ready, Ordell just kind of like looks like at what he's wearing, the cool regal clothes, and then just like kind of stares at like his face and like all the marks and stuff, and like his glowing undead eyes and stuff. And he pauses and he just like kind of gets up.
Actually, we're going to this feast, and if things go south,
We go
I'm-
east.
yes,
Understood.
thanks for always being there.
It is in my programming.
Sure.
As XC prepares, Ordell prepares, everyone gets ready for the night. All of the ladies in the ladies' room. Oh, yes.
Ruckus, how could I forget you in this pile of clothes?
Tries to like get out. I heard what you were talking about. I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to come out of the pocket, so I just stayed. But then you threw the clothes on others, and I couldn't get out. It was not fun.
Do you want a bath, Ruckus?
Yes. Before quickly he disappears into the pocket, and you hear a boop, and he's suddenly inside of the water in the bath.
Just like lounging out, just like, yeah.
You've cleaned this water, right? This is new water.
I mean, it's my water, but
Before going back under to bathe. Though mostly shadow and figurative bone, Ruckus probably could use a good cleaning. It's a hand puppet,
Yeah.
right? You gotta clean those every now and again. But everyone is in their best attire as Ritter comes and knocks on both doors. Says, they came to mine. They're requesting us. Ready to speak with Ignis.
Mhm. Hey, Ash, he really does look good.
It's just, I imagine she's just like lacing up her boots or like putting on her heavy armor. And she just like ignoring it and just doesn't even listen. Just, nope, not gonna feed into it. Gonna feed into it.
well,
But then,
I'll
like, when
say
no
it, Ritter,
one's
you look
looking-
very handsome, cleaned up.
As to you, Emma, quite a handsome woman. Shall we head on?
No, that's not how that.
Um,
Ritter, no.
You all look quite handsome.
Shing,
Handsome is not the right word, Ritter.
chest out, rapier out, shing shing, clean, put back in my sheath, chest out, and I just walk in an orderly fashion.
Ritter holds the door for you all as we will continue next time with the talk and the feast of fire. But this was fun getting you here. I hope you enjoy your new cloak, Ordell, which, since we talked about them before, your cloak gives you resistance to both fire and cold damage. It keeps you from getting too cold and from too hot, as well as gives nice
Nice.
little sparks when you flourish it. So
wait, you're telling me you gave the dad something that makes him resistant to temperature? So I
don't
have
touch
a-
that thermostat.
Don't touch my thermostat.
Well, solid. We got a lot more GFYs and inspos tonight, so I'm very excited for that. But let's go ahead and do the giveaway, Drew, if you want to find out who's going to win.
Alright.
Because remember, during this very RP heavy Truth or Dare possible episode and with the feast, 2 people are going to swap bodies, and somebody's going to have to play somebody else's character. And if Brie plays Jakey, there is no chance that Ashrin doesn't end up with a new bow.
True.
Jackie gets her character back and she's married. She has
Yep.
like 7 kids.
I think we should just get married today. Let's go.
I cannot wait till tomorrow. Also, when do we find out? When are we
I
going
just
to
wanna
find
know.
out which
Depends who
characters?
wins. If they're here, we'll find out tonight.
And we
Right
are
now.
closing entries right now.
Boom.
And picking a winner right now. And it's Chav Hunter.
Chav Hunter.
Chav
Chav
Hunter.
Hunter always wins these.
Oh, yo,
You got
Chav.
the best luck.
Chav
Chav.
Hunter
Um,
blew up a dude's head.
Hey,
It's
hey,
true.
chat. We're gonna raid.
Oh, we are gonna
We're
raid.
raiding.
Before that happens,
minute.
Chaz or
Chav.
Chev. Yeah, who you gonna swap? If as long as they're still in the chat. If I don't see them, then somebody tell Chav Hunter so that we can get them to pick who's gonna swap, and then maybe it'll be a surprise for next week.
So I'm
It's-
uploading the
Rigged.
doodles right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just finishing one of them.
Make sure you check out those Jakey doodles because here's the ones from last week, and they were awesome. By the way, look at the little winter right near the fireball thing, reading smut. It's my favorite.
I also love that one. It also does not look like Chav's in the chat, right?
It's not what I'm seeing.
Oh no.
That's
And the
okay.
new doodles are up. Boom.
Boom. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks
All right.
everybody for watching. Since we don't see Chav, we'll message them or find a way to get a hold of them and have them pick. So it'll be a surprise who's who next week. That sounds more fun anyway.
Oh, I'm scared.
Gee.
Have a fantastic week. Excited for a very RP heavy truth or dare episode where somebody
Can't
gets to
wait.
make long lasting decisions for somebody else's character.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that.
Bye bye now.
Bye.
I love you.